Today's story that Kingdom will introduce to everyone is about an ordinary office worker who faces cold shoulders from colleagues, pressure, and loneliness every day. Jean Luoshan, tired of the cycle of fate, couldn't bear it one day, and fell, bidding farewell to this painful world. Waking up again, he found himself in a room full of light, with loving parents and supportive siblings. Reborn into the body of Ren Edgar, the third son of the Grand Duke, in a strange magical world. Jean Luoshan is determined to make this country more and more brilliant with his own abilities, for the sake of family love and for the sake of this country. Let's follow along to see how Jean Luoshan will use his office worker experience in this magical world. The story begins with a cold sound and the echoing of machinery, doctors, and patients breathing heavily, quickly using breathing machines. On the operating table, the doctor tried his best to resuscitate the critically ill patient. My name is Jean Leshan, an industrial mechanical designer. Jean Leshan felt his heartbeat slowly disappearing, due to long hours of overtime leading to exhaustion, and now his life was in danger. Before closing his eyes, countless images flashed through his mind, images of himself as a child sitting alone in a corner of the room hugging a teddy bear and crying. Born not long after his parents died in an unexpected accident, and he became an orphan. Then came adulthood, after graduating and going to work, drifting through more than 20 years with a meager salary. The days of living alone, waking up alone, going to sleep alone, living alone, a single man for more than 20 years like me, had never even held a girl's hand. The doctor kept shouting rhythmically, as if wanting to keep him awake, Jean Leshan, can you hear me? Is life like this really meaningful? Jean Leshan wanted to open his eyes, but his body wouldn't allow it. He just frowned for a long time. The surgeon frantically urged the nurse, quickly get the defibrillator. Jean Leshan muttered in his heart, suddenly feeling too tired, just wanted to sleep. The morning sun shone on a magnificent and luxurious castle unlike anything he had ever seen. A blond man raised his hand to shield his eyes from the light that he had not yet adapted to. Jean Leshan looked around at his surroundings, saying to himself, is this a hospital room? How much would such a luxurious hospital room cost? Suddenly a transparent blue frame appeared. Welcome to the magical continent of Aldria. The words seemed to hit him in the eyes. Welcome to the magical continent of Aldria. Jean Leshan frantically trembled and reached out to touch it. What is this? He hissed, it hurts. It felt like his body was very difficult to move. What? Jean Leshan's eyes widened as much as possible, as if not believing what he was seeing. What is this? How did I turn into this appearance? Before long, time passed quickly. A week later, Leah took the tray and respectfully approached Jean Leshan. Young Master Ryan, afternoon tea is served. Jean Leshan smiled at her politely. Thank you for your hard work, Leah. After about a week of adaptation, I have gradually understood my situation. He sank into his thoughts. The last time, he didn't know why he transmigrated into the body of someone named Ryan Edgar. And he had grasped everything, not just superficially. Ryan Edgar was the third son of Grand Duke Adrien Edgar, with an older sister and an older brother above him. He had also experienced all of the original owner's memories, which were sent to his brain, images of the original owner as a child. Little brother, eat this. You can't be hungry when you're growing up. Images of the family loving each other, the brother and sister teasing their younger brother. Little brother, drink this. This is magic water that an NI spent a lot of money to buy. It is said that drinking it can increase magic power. Be good, ah. The original owner's mother also loved him very much. Ryan, this is a new outfit that mother made for you. Try it on quickly to see if it fits. He was always surrounded by happiness. His life was not only pink but also the color of light. Ryan Edgar was the youngest child, so he was also the most loved and spoiled by the whole family. Jean Leshan thought to himself, is this God compensating for my shortcomings in my previous life? And according to what he learned from the books, he roughly understood how this place operated. This continent is called Eldria, a world where everything is based on magic to operate. The Caldral Empire is the largest human empire on the continent. Besides, there are not only human countries on the continent, but also elven countries. And dwarves. Around where he was, this palace was the most magnificent place. The Edgar family was noble, with a territory of about 300,000 square kilometers, with about 1 million people in the territory. Each drop of delicious tea was poured meticulously into a porcelain cup. Leah was diligently pouring tea for him. People from noble backgrounds like me don't just worry about eating and drinking, don't need to work hard, and have maids to serve us. Holding the steaming cup of tea and enjoying it, Jean Leshan also felt a little open. Being able to live such a happy life must be the result of working hard in his previous life. At this time, Leah tilted her head and reported, "Young Master Ryan, the master is looking for you, please follow me." In a large room, a person was sitting seriously looking at documents. The butler stepped in and reported, "Master, young Master Ryan has arrived." Adrien nodded to summon him. "Let him in." "Yes." Jean Leshan adapted very quickly. "So did these greetings, Father, I'm here." Adrien looked at Jean Leshan with a very strict and serious gaze. "Ryan, do you know why Father is looking for you?" "Adrien Edgar, this is my father, and also the master of this territory." Jean Leshan was a little confused. "No, I don't know." Adrien closed the document, and also withdrew his serious eyes, and said to him, "Ryan, you are old enough to manage your own territory. Have you thought about where you want to go?" Unexpectedly, Jean Leshan felt this was a surprise. "I can also inherit territory." Adrien rubbed his forehead. "Of course." He stood up, looking at the large map of the territory on the platform. "The territory you will have to take over in the future is the Northwestern Territory." His hands full of the marks of time pointed to a spot on the map. Although relatively safe, because the number of mages is not large, the food problem has always not been solved. He didn't know why he paused for a moment, then turned to say to him, "Ryan, although our territory is safe for now, the future of the Caldril Empire is not optimistic." And Jean Leshan really bowed his head to ponder. Yes, Father's words were extremely accurate. According to his understanding, the royal family of the Caldril Empire collapsed, and politics were corrupt. The open and secret struggles between the lords and the empire were countless. Jean Leshan raised his hand to rub his chin, and pondered for a long time. The world after transmigration felt the care that he had never felt before. His eyebrows furrowed more and more tightly. "I will absolutely not lose the people who care about me." Adrien, his father, looked at his son's expression and couldn't help but feel sorry for him. Had he given him too much pressure, then he still spoke to comfort him. "Ryan, you don't need to have such great pressure. Your older brother, older sister, and father." Jean Leshan spoke as soon as he spoke, and also asked very loudly, "Father, if the food problem is solved, can the safety of the territory be improved?" Adrien looked at his son with eyes that wanted to say something but stopped, and also wanted to love him more. "Food cannot be solved by enthusiasm. Let's do it little by little." Indeed, he is still a child, thinking about problems too simply. Jean Leshan's eyes became sharper than ever. "What I rely on is not enthusiasm but the wisdom of hundreds of years of the industrial revolution of mankind." As if he had found a good idea, he firmly informed his father, "Father, leave the food problem to me." Scene changed to another land, a beautiful and remote place under the sun, Ethel City, the westernmost part of the territory of Grand Duke Adrien, bordering the territory of Grand Duke Thorian. Of the enemy country to the north, and bordering the territory of the elves to the west, and the vast ocean to the south. Because it is located at the intersection of three countries, Ethel City is often swept by war. The chaotic scene, bombs and bullets are the fear of all the people in the world, also because of the continuous wars, leading to the once fertile territory being barren. And finally the population declined, and the people suffered. On the wooden carriage, Jean Leshan was going out. Leah was also with him. In Jean Leshan's hand was a thick file of documents that he had to look at today. The premise of the Industrial Revolution is that there must be a surplus of labor. His eyebrows often furrowed in deep thought. This is also the first time he has come into contact with this. He has to think of a way to increase the population. Jean Leshan suddenly felt a slight headache. "One thing that surprised me is that it seems I have received some kind of ability." That blue system panel appeared again with the notification, "Please host use the detection ability on others, 6 out of 10. After reading through its features, I also understood some of it. Leadership ability 50, strategy 50, martial force 50, magic power 50, loyalty 50. Through this ability, I can directly observe the ability values of the person being detected. Derek Sultan, 38 years old, leadership ability 75, strategy 62, martial force 72, magic power 55, loyalty 92, special attribute, wounded soldier, through inspection of the people in the house. I roughly understand the talents of this world. Marina Grace, 29 years old, leadership ability 55, strategy 42, martial force 58, magic power 68, Loyalty 97, Special Attribute, Flame Magic. Jean Leshan nodded with the great information he had just received. It seems that after arriving in the territory, the first thing to do is to recruit talents. Leah sat opposite, her eyes always looking at Jean Leshan with great empathy. Young master. She remembered when she was called to meet with Adrien privately. He looked at her with trust, hoping she would take care of him for him. Don't let him mess around in the territory, yes. She looked again at Jean Leshan's thoughtful face and prayed to herself, Young Master Ryan, please don't mess around. Ethel's city, the city lord's mansion. A middle-aged man, he was flustered. My lord, I heard that the youngest son of the Grand Duke will come to this city today. Eldrich didn't know how many bad things he had done, and now he wanted to play tricks again. Should we strike first? He even smiled happily when he mentioned Ryan, seemingly seeing him as a puppet. I heard that not only does Grand Duke Adrien extremely love this youngest son, but even his siblings also extremely dote on him. Another man, who looked calmer than the old man, wore a mask but his temperament could not be erased. He spoke, Don't touch him for now, wait for the master to issue the next instructions. However, Eldrich seemed not very satisfied with sitting still and waiting for death. But what should I do if he finds out that I have falsified the financial and tax issues? Only Ravencrow's next words made him calm down a little. How could a pampered nobleman understand financial and tax books? When that young master arrives, just give him some books to fool him. After speaking, Ravencrow stood up wanting to leave, and also conveniently reminded Eldrich a few words. Counting the time, the young master should be arriving soon. It's time for you to go welcome him, yes? He turned around. No one could see his expression, the dark eyes that could not be seen behind the mask. In his head was a cold thought. Adrien, it's time for you to pay for your sins. Jean Leshan was standing still like a mountain on a patch of land, looking at the delicious land without any trees and couldn't help but tch a few times. He muttered to himself, just like I thought, because of the shortage of population, leading to the fact that land that could have been used to grow food was abandoned. He turned to call, Leah, bring the map here for me to see. Leah followed orders and brought the map. Jean Leshan opened it and carefully calculated and measured. If we connect the river in the west with the seaport in the south, creating a river transport line. Suddenly, a young girl's voice rang in his ears, also crying and begging, Father, please don't gamble anymore. Jean Leshan turned his head to look. It was the image of a girl kneeling down grabbing her father's leg begging him, Father, don't gamble anymore. The little girl insisted on not letting go of the money bag in her hand, fighting with him. This little money is for treating mother's illness. The old man was so angry that he was about to burst into flames, scolding his daughter, Bastard, give me the money, I must get it back. He still insisted on taking it away. Give me the money, this time I will definitely win. Lillian still reached out with all her might to hold the money bag, hoping for her mother. No, this is money to treat mother's illness. He raised his hand, really wanting to hit his daughter. If you don't give me the money, I will beat you to death. But he had just finished speaking and hadn't had time to do anything when he was hit by a large force. Jean Leshan punched him and sent him flying far away, also spitting blood. Jean Leshan, with his western appearance, looked at the bastard with cold eyes like flies. But before he could be cool for a few seconds, he received the consequences, that is, a red hand like a tomato. Jean Leshan cried without tears, Oh, it hurts so much. Luckily Leah came quickly, Young master. She didn't know what to do with this hand, only feeling useless and helpless. Young master, next time if you want to hit someone then tell me in advance and I will prepare protective gear for you. Jean Leshan also came back to this situation, and comforted her in a small voice. This was a sudden action of mine, you wouldn't have time to prepare. After not feeling the pain in his hand anymore, he wanted to question the father. I'll see how the girl's situation is, and I'll go ask this bad guy, yes. He went in front of that guy. With 7 parts aura and 3 parts kingly aura, he looked at him and questioned, You actually take the money to save your family's life to gamble, and also hit your daughter, are you crazy? The old man angrily gritted his teeth and asked back, Who are you? Jean Leshan unexpectedly came close to that unfaithful man, and then said in a low voice, Who I am is not important, what is important is. He used a cold voice to blow a few words in that guy's ear, making him scared out of his wits. If I find out that you go gambling again, I will have someone chop off your head, you know? That guy was so scared that he turned into a dog wagging its tail and ran very quickly. No more, I won't dare anymore. Jean Leshan solved that guy. turned to ask the girl, "Is your health still okay?" Used the system to see her body state. Lillian was so moved that she wanted to cry, and said to him, Thank you. But she really cried, trying to wipe away her tears. "If the money to save my mother's life is robbed, I really don't know what to do." Jean Leshan suddenly froze his face, his eyes wide open without blinking. It turned out that it was because the system showed her information. Lillian Aird, 17 years old, leadership ability 45, strategy 55, martial force 25, magic power 25. Loyalty 50, special attribute, bumper harvest cultivation, although the value is not high. But this girl has the innate agricultural holy body. We must subdue this talent later. Future cultivation must rely on her. Knowing that this girl can be used, he felt quite happy, and then opened his mouth to her. "If you are planning to go to the city to ask the doctor to treat your mother, then please sit in our car. We also have something to do in the city." Lillian is not a casual person. She felt it was not very good. "How can it be? I am too dirty." "I will make your car dirty." Jean Leshan tilted his head and smiled gently and closely, looking at her. "It's just a car made of many wooden planks. What's dirty and not dirty? It just so happens that I also have something I want to ask you." He raised his hand and rubbed the hand that hit that guy just now, and then asked her, "This place is already so poor, but there are still people opening casinos. This matter must be said from a recent incident. In the autumn of last year, Grand Duke Thorian of the enemy country attacked the town. Many soldiers died because of this. In the spring of this year, there was a flood, and the land for growing food was submerged by the flood. Speaking of this, those miserable images appeared. The lives of the people are extremely difficult now. Even eating a full meal is difficult. We must conduct a population survey to know how large the production capacity is." Jean Leshan's eyes were sad. He led Leah and Lillian together to the city lord's mansion to see how much reserve money there is, and how much construction it can support. He turned to look at the girl walking next to him. "Lillian, do you know where the city lord's mansion of Ethel City is?" "The city lord's mansion is." Someone riding a horse ran wildly into the crowd of people. He was running on the horse like he had lost his reins, and shouted at everyone, "Get out of the way, a bunch of lowly people." He just rushed up without giving people time to think. "Quickly get out of the way." Leah saw the danger and rushed to Jean Leshan, wanting to push him away. "Young Master Ryan, be careful." Fortunately, she arrived in time to push Ryan away so that he wouldn't be hit by that crazy guy on horseback. "Get out of the way, all of you." Leah looked at the back of that guy, her delicate eyebrows furrowed into a line. At this time, she heard Jean Leshan's weak voice. "Leah, quickly let go, I'm about to suffocate." Leah quickly let go. Jean Leshan took a breath. "Young Master Ryan, are you not hurt? Does anything hurt?" Jean Leshan smiled and looked at her. "It's okay, luckily there's Leah, so I didn't hit anything." He looked in the direction that guy ran through, his face disgusted. "Lillian, do you know him?" Mentioning him made Lillian tremble. That person is the eldest young master of the Eldwin family." She bowed her head deeply, her face trembling but still disgusted, saying, "The casino of Ethel City is opened by his family." Jean Leshan smiled. "The casino of Ethel City is opened by his family, then he must be very rich." Lillian nodded. "Yes, that's right." He didn't know what he was thinking, bowed his head to hide his faint smile. "Very good. I'm worried about where to get money for construction. Lillian, take me to the casino." Hearing this, Lillian couldn't help but want to persuade him. Young master, you can't go. If you go, then all the money will be cheated by the casino." Jean Leshan had already turned around and walked ahead. His face was a smile full of meaning. "Don't worry, the casino can't win my money." Looking at his figure, Lillian also wondered, who is this young noble master after all? Before long, they arrived at the casino. Jean Leshan looked over this place and smiled. "Just wait to be completely squeezed by me on the industrial production line." They were not hindered when entering here. As soon as they entered inside, it was noisy. "Please lend me 10 gold coins. I will definitely be able to turn over in the next game." "Lend me 1 gold coin is also okay." There were people crying and people laughing and shouting, I won, no way. Big. Jean Leshan looked at it, and felt disgusted. As long as this casino exists, these people will never be able to work properly. Leah went behind Jean Leshan and whispered in his ear to inform him, "Young master, the soldiers brought have surrounded the casino. Should we take action?" He shook his head. "Not in a hurry. Let the big fish take the bait first, yes. A person who looked like a waiter came to him and greeted him with a smile. This young master, what do you want to play? Jean Leshan smiled at him, his face very much like a fawn. Play a few games at random. I don't understand much. Is there anything simple? The person smiled even more brightly and respectfully invited, please follow me. He went to a table, saw the host playing. After placing the bets, he let go of his hand down. The person gave it to Jean Leshan. Young master, these 2 chips are a gift from me for you to experience. You can try your luck. Jean Leshan quickly waved his hand and threw it into a box on the table. The 2 chips lay neatly in the same place. The 2 people on the other side didn't know why they both smiled complacently at the same time. Open, for a 6-6 big. Blue Hair pretended to regret and said, oh, young master, what a pity, you almost won. Jean Leshan also liked to act, he tched, is that it? Not fun at all. He turned around wanting to tell the 2 people behind to go together. Let's go, I'm a little hungry. Unexpectedly, before leaving, he was blocked by that blue-haired guy. Wait a minute. His eyes became cunning, and he smiled very cheerfully when he had lured someone in. Young master can leave but must pay the money you owe first. Jean Leshan vaguely understood, but still seriously asked, when did I owe you money? That guy immediately turned his face very skillfully, as if this happened like a routine. Young master, the 2 chips that I lent you, you must pay me first before you can leave. Jean Leshan still calmly asked, didn't you say just now that you were giving it to me? That guy smiled even more and revealed his true nature. Young master is joking. Is there any giving in this place? It's clearly lending it to you. He still didn't know who he had provoked. At this time he was still smiling very cheerfully when others encountered misfortune. 1 chip is 100 gold coins. Including the handling fee for losing and interest, young master must give me 250 gold coins. If the young master doesn't bring enough money today, you can also use your maid to pay off the debt. Just as he was smiling very happily, Lillian spoke, nonsense, you are scamming. She ran to Jean Leshan and then sincerely said to him, young master, sister, the 2 of you don't believe him. 1 chip is only worth 1 silver coin, he is scamming the 2 of you. The person was exposed, like a mad beast scolding people. Where did this bastard come from daring to ruin my work? Someone hit her for me. Not knowing where the strength came from, Jean Leshan hit him and sent him flying far away again. He flew out and fell on the gambling table. He reached out and adjusted his wrinkled collar. His voice became cold. Is there a place for you to speak here? At this time, a few gambling addicts ran to the broken table, quickly picking up a few pieces of money. They are all mine. Get out of the way. Leave some for me. Jean Leshan looked at them like hungry ghosts holding worthless plastic coins. These people are completely useless. Suddenly, the familiar sour voice rang again. Who is causing trouble in the casino? Weather walked in with an angry face. Jean Leshan saw him and started to be happy. The big fish took the bait. He went to the people who were picking up chips. They looked up and their faces turned green. Weather called his subordinates. Hit them for me. Let these lowly people know the rules. Got it, got it. So the sounds of whips and sticks rang out in this place. Don't hit me anymore. I was wrong. Along with it were the begging sounds of the addicts. I was wrong. Please spare my life. The people present all felt afraid of Weather. And that person was still very domineering, constantly giving orders. Be obedient all of you, otherwise this is your end. Lillian was already so scared that she was hiding behind Leah. She was very scared of that person, secretly blaming herself. It's all my fault. If I didn't bring you 2 here, then the 2 of you wouldn't be cheated. At this time, the image of Jean Leshan helping her in the hospital appeared in her head. Please go save this girl's mother. I will pay the money. I must repay his kindness. Lillian took all her courage and shouted loudly at Weather, don't let him cheat his money. The people present were all silent, secretly shuddering in their hearts. Who is this little girl? It's over. This little girl is definitely dead. That's right, in Ethel City. Offending Weather's people will not have a good ending, little brat. Sure enough, that devil Tululu heard someone speak loudly and turned back to glance at her. Do you have an opinion on me? Lillian still didn't flinch, and said all the feelings in her heart. You opened a casino in the city to cheat everyone's money. Many families have been destroyed because of your casino. I can't let you bully my brother and sister who helped me. They are good people. Weather doesn't care about boys or girls. He can hit anyone. Without saying a word he rushed to hit someone, tired of living. Lillian closed her eyes and resigned herself. She was about to be hit. But after a long time nothing happened. She opened her eyes. Huh? Jean Leshan had grabbed Weather's hand. Brother. In the meantime, he had read the information of this name, not only low attributes but also only 5 loyalty. Weather Eldwin 23 years old, leadership ability 46. Strategy 52, martial force 68, magic power 59, loyalty 5, special province, brutal bloodthirsty. This Eldwin family can rebel at any time, be careful. Weather looked at him with eyes that had no goodwill. It seems that this brother doesn't agree with my way of doing things? Jean Leshan let go of his hand and then replied, No, I very much agree with your thinking. Anyway, the rule of the world is that the big fish eats the small fish. Whoever's fist is bigger than the truth is in that person's hand. Weather laughed after hearing this. Haha, but you still dare to oppose me, don't you know who I am? Jean Leshan is not easily intimidated by these people. He used his cold eyes to look at him. I don't need to know who you are, I only need to know one thing. Then, he raised his hand and clapped loudly. Outside the soldiers poured in like a flood. Jean Leshan smiled coldly. Now my fist is bigger than yours, so my word is the rule. In another place, a banquet is taking place. I hope my daughter can catch the eye of young Master Ryan. Mr. Lucas, I heard that you have made a fortune recently. That's all thanks to the blessing of the city lord. Adrien was holding a glass of red wine, listening to them chat, wanting to rely on his daughter to get on the Grand Duke's boat. Remembering the last time he instructed his subordinates, he must show his power to him at today's banquet. Okay, it's really too simple-minded. At this time, a nobleman came to toast him. A toast to you, thank you. Adrien was drinking wine while carefully calculating in his head. Little Weather doesn't know where he's wandering around. If he were here, maybe he could make him have a good relationship with the Grand Duke's son, keeping a way out for himself. He glanced at the person behind him again, smiling foolishly with others. He can't bet all his wealth on this useless city lord. At this time, an announcement rang out outside the palace. His Highness Ryan Edgar has arrived. Jean Leshan still walked in with a cold face. Immediately countless people came to give him gifts, and smiled intimately. Young Master Ryan, I am the patriarch of the Raven family. Today I have brought you a gift. Please take a look. Young Master Ryan, I am the patriarch of the Rose family. I have brought my daughter to you. Please take a look. Jean Leshan didn't accept them, just smiled and returned to them. If everyone has arrived, then let's officially begin. Then, someone from outside carried something like a board in. This is. Those people looked at the board and wondered, what is this? It looks like a room. Jean Leshan pointed to the sketch and announced to them, this is the design drawing of the dam that I designed this afternoon. When constructing, I will find some professional craftsmen to confirm. The people there looked at each other. What is a dam? They don't know, they've never heard of it. Is it for raising fish? Jean Leshan came from the future, so he knew for sure that this ancient time didn't have this, so he spoke to reassure them. Everyone calm down, don't be impatient. I will explain it to you. Leah, hang up the map, yes? After it was done, he continued to explain. This afternoon I surveyed the geographical location of Ethel City. Ethel City has floods every year because of the river north of the city. Just build a dam here, and during droughts, divert water to irrigate the fields, and in the rainy season, open the sluice gates to discharge water. Adrien listened with fascination. Perhaps he had never been so surprised in his life. An excellent idea. If this dam could really be built, then the food production of Ethel City would be greatly improved. It seems that the Grand Duke's son's mind is not simple. The Raven family patriarch spoke first. Young Master Ryan, what does this have to do with us? Jean Leshan smiled very charmingly and replied, because I need you to invest. Any construction needs money. A young man spoke up dissatisfied. Young Master Ryan, we are also very poor. Yes, yes. Adrien muttered to himself, evaluating Jean Leshan. Although smart but still too young, you want these blood-sucking ghosts to spit out money for you. How naive. Of course Jean Leshan had thought of this result, so he was not surprised. He calmly continued, everyone doesn't need to complain to me about being poor. I have a way to make a fortune that I want to tell everyone. This afternoon I went around the casino, and roughly collected 5,000 gold coins. How many casinos are there in this Ethel City that you know of? Speaking of this, those nobles began to turn green, and sweat also flowed out. What? The casino was confiscated by young Master Ryan. What? Then my profit this month is lost. Which casino was confiscated? It better not be the one I invested in. Then, they looked at Adrien together without prior agreement. Well, the person behind the biggest casino in Ethelyn City is Lord Adrien. It seems that this young master has a big trouble. Adrien of course knew he was targeting him, and couldn't help frowning. Stupid little young master, originally if you obediently stayed here, maybe I wouldn't do anything to you. But now that you have taken the initiative to challenge me, then don't blame me for being cruel. He didn't think much, went to Jean Leshan and questioned him. Young Master Ryan, you arbitrarily destroying the casino has violated the laws of the Calderal Empire. The nobles behind him also shouted, the laws of the Calderal Empire cannot be violated. That's right. Young Master Ryan is not doing the right thing. Just touching their rights a little and they jumped up. Lord Adrien is right. Yes. How can it be like this? Yes, young Master Ryan, the casino is also a legitimate business. You can't just take money like that. Adrien's appearance was still stern, but inside he was sneering at Ryan. Little young master, you are too young. You don't understand what it means to manipulate people's hearts at all. Jean Leshan clenched his hand into a fist, and slowly spoke. When I ask you to spend money you complain to me about being poor, and when I lead you to make a fortune you don't agree. Don't think that I don't know that these casinos all have your participation. I will give you one last chance. The soldiers outside were all present here. Either you show yourselves, or I will help you show yourselves. Adrien was not shaken by these tricks. He even threatened him. Young Master Ryan, if the Grand Duke knows that you are messing around, I'm afraid it won't be easy to forgive you. That's right, young Master Ryan, you can't mess around. Young Master Ryan, please have some self-respect. Unexpectedly, at this time Jean Leshan showed a smile that made them confused. You want to talk about the law with me? Right, then that's great. He turned around and ordered someone, bring everyone up here for me. Today I must talk about the law properly with you. Two of Weather's subordinates were led in. Adrien couldn't help but sweat. Why are these two here? Aren't they always following Weather's side? Could it be? Jean Leshan pointed at those two people. Lord Adrien, do you know these two people? Adrien wouldn't admit it even if he died. I don't know them. I've never met them. What do you mean by asking like this, young Master Ryan? Jean Leshan humbly sat down in his chair. Lord Adrien doesn't need to be nervous. It's actually not a big deal. It's just that this afternoon they tried to assassinate me. He slowly repeated each word, making Adrien's heart shiver, remembering when they said they could cover the sky with one hand in this Ethelyn city. And said that there was someone backing them in Ethelyn city. Adrien's face was shaking without being hit. Jean Leshan still continued to speak. That's right. Loosen them up a bit. Let them see if they know anyone in this banquet. Yes. The nobles here were all stunned in place. Those two people are not young Master Weather's servants. At this time young Master Ryan said they wanted to assassinate young Master Ryan? It seems that Lord Adrien is unlucky. Adrien narrowed his eyes looking at those two people. He can't let these two bastards speak, otherwise the entire family will face a disaster. He picked up the knife beside him, wanting to stab those two to death with one blow. Damn lowly people dare to attack the Grand Duke's son. He was really crazy, really killing both of them with one knife. Go die. Everyone here was terrified and couldn't speak. He dropped the knife, panting. Then he went to Jean Leshan pretending to repent. Young Master Ryan, the villain heard that you were assassinated, and was angry for a moment. Please punish me. Jean Leshan smiled and went to pat his shoulder, and praised. Lord Adrien is indeed a noble with a sense of justice. Young Master Ryan is too polite. This is all what I should do. Jean Leshan turned around, and told his subordinates, then dragged the mastermind up here to see if there are any other outstanding nobles in this banquet today like Lord Adrien. Yes. The next person to be dragged in, made the entire audience as silent as death. Only Weather's sour voice, you damn lowly people, quickly let me go. His face was bruised, and he kept scolding, let me tell you, my father is the biggest noble in Ethelyn city. When I get out, I will have my father send people to kill you all. At this time, Adrien's pupils contracted sharply, so he was also caught. I was wondering why I couldn't find him. This Weather hadn't understood the situation yet, and still strongly scolded Ryan, you actually dared to kill my servants, you are dead. He gritted his teeth, his face had nothing to fear, that sissy. When this young master gets out, I will catch you and torture you severely, I will make you wish you were dead. Jean Leshan felt very interesting, and added to his words, so, you not only want to kill me, but also want to torture me. That idiot of course fell for the trap, and smiled very rascally. That's right, let me tell you, no one in this Athelan city can resist me. I say you die. You will definitely die. Jean Leshan suddenly laughed loudly, laughing so heartily. Good, 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 a brave person like you, this is the first time I have met. Am I right, Lord Adrien? It seemed that at this time Weatho realized that there was someone standing behind Ryan. Father. You little bastard, you are about to die. Do you know who he is? He is. Before he could finish boasting, he was shouted loudly by his father. You rebellious son, shut up, kneel down. Suddenly turning the tables, he asked blankly, Father, what's wrong? Adrien went to hit him to kneel down for me. Adrien wanted to defend his son, without even bowing his head to beg, Young Master Ryan, the rebellious son is young and untamed, please spare him a life. I am willing to give you all my property. At this time, that idiot Weatho remembered his father's instructions yesterday. Weatho, tomorrow young Master Ryan the Grand Duke's son will come to the territory to inherit the lordship. Then you must be close to him. He was shocked at this time. His eyes had no focus. You are the Grand Duke's son? Jean Leshan smiled contemptuously at him. Otherwise, where do you think I got so many soldiers from? He lost all his momentum, and immediately cowed out hard begging, Young Master Ryan, please spare me a life. I know I was wrong, I won't dare again. Even Adrien could do nothing, and sincerely, Young Master Ryan, please give the Eldwin family a chance. He knelt down, his face sincere, wanting to beg for mercy. The Eldwin family is willing to swear to die following you. Jean Leshan looked at these two fathers and sons. His eyes were full of disgust. Hand over all the illegal wealth you have gained over the years, and I guarantee that your family will be safe. Adrien seemed to breathe a sigh of relief. Thank you, Young Master Ryan. Thank you, Young Master Ryan. Finally past the calamity. After being greatly forgiven, Adrien suddenly looked at the people behind him, and said to Ryan, this person, I must remind Young Master Ryan. He reported, Young Master Ryan, I have a secret to report. City Lord Eldrich wants to unite with foreign enemies to betray the Grand Duke. At this time, 100 eyes were all directed at the person being mentioned. What, City Lord wants to betray? Adrien still wanted to call Ryan, Young Master Ryan. Unexpectedly he heard him swear, damn it. Then he glared hatefully at Adrien. Originally I was going to spare you, but you dare to slander the City Lord's loyalty. Clearly, unexpectedly, Adrien was frightened by this attitude of Jean Leshan. Only Eldrich was smugly smiling cunningly. Sure enough, it was like that Lord said. This young master is not only stupid but also reckless. He stepped forward, and respectfully bowed. Thank you, Young Master Ryan, for investigating clearly. Not even knowing shame, he acted out a scene of close master and servant. The villain is always loyal to you and the Grand Duke. Absolutely no two hearts. Jean Leshan didn't know what he was thinking, smiled and looked at him. Rest assured, I believe you. Strategy 68, Martial Force 48, Magic Power 66, Loyalty 15, Special Attribute, Greedy. You will absolutely not, definitely, betray. Ren sat silently in the dark room. He thought to himself, these nobles have turned in about more than 100,000 gold coins, almost equal to the tax revenue of Iselin City for 2 years. Leah walked into the room, and gently called him, Young Master Ren, black tea is here. Ren took the cup of tea, and he curiously asked her, Leah, do you know how wealthy these nobles are? Leah immediately understood the problem. She worriedly asked, Young Master Ren, about what Adrien said, how are you going to deal with it? Leah's earnest eyes looked at him. If the City Lord really intends to betray, then you will be in danger. Seeing the worry from Leah, his heart couldn't help but be happy. Calm down, Leah, I know you are worried about me, but there is no need to be so hasty. But outside, Ren pretended to be tired. I am very sure that Eldrich intends to betray, but now I can't turn the cards over with him yet. She was puzzled. Why? Ren stood up and stretched. Because I haven't clearly grasped what forces he has in Iselin City. The enemy is in the dark and I am in the light. If I act rashly, it will definitely cause great chaos. Looking down at the notebook that was placed on the table, Ren vaguely replied, before I grasp his trump card clearly, just let him think that I am a stupid young master who knows nothing about the world. Sunlight shone on the entire castle. Malcolm was angrily scolding, outrageous, really outrageous. Eldrich sat in the opposite chair, trying to reassure the old man. Chairman Malcolm, please calm down. Young Master Ren is too young and eager to prove himself to the Grand Duke. But the old man still couldn't calm down. Lord City Lord, you don't need to speak up for him. Even the Grand Duke, when talking to us mages, must be polite. Seeing Malcolm's anger, He was secretly pleased. Originally I was still worried about how to bribe the Mage Association. Remembering that official document, Iselin City, Notice of Recruiting Workers for Water Conservancy Projects, Eldrich was even more pleased. This is what you asked for yourself. Malcolm suddenly turned around and left, causing him to stand up in surprise. He is just a little young master. What is he relying on to do such a thing? Today I must find him and demand an explanation. Eldrich quickly stopped him. Chairman Malcolm, wait. His face began to show a sinister look. Young Master Wren has offended the Mage Association, and will be isolated in Iselin City in the future. Outside the residential area. Wren hesitated and stopped writing, back to the days of drawing the design of the project again. Leah suddenly opened the door and walked in, happily announcing to him, Young Master Wren, the chairman of the Mage Association, Mr. Malcolm wants to see you. Wren couldn't help but wonder who? The voice was transmitted, Young Master Wren, what is going on after all? Wren and her walked out. Malcolm was already standing outside waiting. Why did you offend our Mage Association like this? Wren blankly didn't understand the accusations from Malcolm. What are you talking about? I don't understand at all. When did I offend the Mage Association? The old man immediately took out the paper and continued to say, Young Master Wren, please don't pretend to be stupid. This recruitment notice was issued by you. Right, the paper clearly states, this recruitment does not accept mages, the disabled and the elderly who are weak and sick. He calmly replied, that's right, so what, me building a dam has nothing to do with offending the Mage Association. Hearing the confirmation from Wren, the old man became even more excited. In your recruitment notice it is clearly stated that mages are not accepted. This is a blatant provocation against our Mage Association. He couldn't help but feel helpless in his heart. Even here there is competition. Mages also have to do manual labor. Malcolm kept saying, Young Master Wren, if you can't give a reasonable explanation today, then all the mages in our Mage Association will refuse to serve you in the future. Wren's eyes became serious. System, please help me check this person's stats. Looking at the stats, he sighed in his heart. The loyalty is not low. The system panel showed, Malcolm Grimlock 57 years old, leadership 70, strategy 68, strength 48. Magic power 82, loyalty 82, special attributes, studious, straightforward. Wren guessed that. It seems that someone has instigated him. Wren said confidently, Mr. Malcolm, you have misunderstood me. I don't mean to despise the Mage Association. The reason why I don't hire mages is for 3 reasons. He carefully explained to the old man. First, magic power is limited. Too little work can be done each day, and it can't be completed before the deadline. Continuing to say the problems from the mages. Second, the salary of a mage is too expensive. The money to hire a mage can hire 10 ordinary laborers. And what made Wren decide not to accept mages? Third, most mages are raised by the Mage Association without worrying about food and drink, but ordinary people don't have anyone to raise them. So as a lord I have to think for these people. Malcolm immediately refused to accept. Young Master Wren, excuse me for speaking frankly. The world in essence worships magic. Those who don't have the talent for magic deserve to be trampled under the feet of mages. Wren rubbed his head in annoyance. You are right, but I don't like that. He seriously announced to the old man, starting from Iselin City, I want to let everyone know, mages are the same as ordinary people, nothing noble. The old man reminded Wren, Young Master Wren, if you don't want to oppose the Mage Association, please withdraw your words. Wren showed that he didn't care. Mr. Malcolm, please pay attention to your tone, otherwise. Before he finished speaking, Leah immediately rushed forward with a knife blocking in front of the old man. My maid will take the excuse that you are disrespectful to the nobles to give you a stab in the neck. Malcolm was frightened and quickly looked at Leah. Young Master Wren, what nonsense are you talking about? His laughter was calm and terrifying. I'm not talking nonsense. There really is this law. If you don't believe me, I'll let Leah cut a stab in your neck, and then see who the court will listen to. How about it? The old man's face immediately turned pale. Young Master Wren, I know I was wrong. Please spare me this time. Wren secretly considered, this person even at this level did not reduce his loyalty to him. It seems that he was simply unknowingly used by others, simply put, stupid. He ordered her, Leah, let Mr. Malcolm go. Leah heard this and immediately withdrew her hand. Yes, young master, thank you. The old man relievedly looked at Wren and thanked young Master Wren. The system continuously notified, novice mission, use the probing ability on humans, 10 out of 10 completed. Reward the host with a novice gift package has been sent. New mission notification. Training 5 characters with high stats 0 out of 5 in progress. Unlock new features. Please 10 host check. Ren smugly pressed to select in the system panel. Finally completed the system's mission. Let me see what the reward is. At this time Malcolm walked out of the mansion. Eldrich was waiting outside. He quickly ran over and asked, Chairman Malcolm, did everything go smoothly? The old man replied worriedly, Don't mention it. Young Master Ren not only didn't listen to me, but also chased me out. Realizing that the situation was exactly as he expected, he immediately took the opportunity to destroy everything. Chairman Malcolm, I have a way, not only can make young Master Ren change his mind, but also can make young Master Ren respect you. Eldrich said into the old man's ear, Chairman Malcolm, as long as those black people are not willing to work for young Master Ren, then young Master Ren will definitely have to come to you. Malcolm felt confused. Young Master Ren offered such good conditions, how could those commoners not go? Ren quickly replied, If those commoners work for young Master Ren and eat without doing anything, then young Master Ren will definitely be disappointed with these black people. Malcolm looked at him with surprised eyes. How could that be? The old man quickly rejected Eldrich's plan. I am only dissatisfied because young Master Ren doesn't hire us mages. How can I oppose young Master Ren because of this matter? He kept saying, Such lazy people, how can they help young Master Ren build the dam? The old man's mind was completely shaken. Malcolm lowered his face and reluctantly said, Well, okay, let's try it according to what you said. Inside the neighborhood, the surprised shouts of the people, What is written on this? Everyone gathered around and discussed in an uproar in front of the notice board. I heard that the new lord wants to build something, and is recruiting people. Recruiting workers to build a dam, working from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., 3 meals a day, wages paid daily, absolutely no arrears in wages, treating everyone fairly, that's right. I heard that the treatment is quite good, not only 3 meals a day but also paid 10 coins. One of them expressed his doubts. Why is the new lord so good to us? Are you going? The person next to him calmly replied, I think it's definitely a trap. Haven't the old nobles here cheated us enough? That's right, I'm not going, or I won't know how I'll die. Suddenly a voice interrupted the atmosphere. You are not allowed to speak ill of the Lord's brother. Lillian quickly explained to them, The Lord's brother told me, he will definitely make everyone have a better life. Her words made them all feel ridiculous, laughing to death. What does this silly girl know? Everyone became even more excited, and kept talking about Lillian. That's right, she must have been fascinated by that white-faced lord. She and Locke expressed their wishes. Hello, me and my father want to register to dig the dam. The soldier who was recording the participants, he paused and said, Your father can participate in the dam digging work, but you can't. Lillian asked puzzledly, Why? I am also very healthy. He said the things that she was not suitable to participate in. Little girl, looking at this body you must not be old enough, right? Young Master Ren has instructed. Children under 18 years old are not allowed to participate in labor. If we arbitrarily recruit you to work and young Master Ren finds out, young Master Ren will definitely punish us. The soldier gave the registration form to Locke. You can participate in building the dam, 3 meals a day, working 8 hours a day, the daily wage is 10 coins. Paid daily. If there are no other problems then roll your fingerprint here, come to the construction site tomorrow. She immediately felt unhappy and looked at him. Father, you must work hard, absolutely not be lazy. Locke looked at her with gentle eyes. Rest assured, Father won't gamble anymore. Locke said with a determined voice, Father will absolutely not disappoint young Master Ren. He quickly took Lillian away. Lillian, tomorrow you must stay at home to take good care of your mother. Her illness can't do heavy work. The soldier heard this and immediately stood up and called them back. Wait, you turn back here. Locke unexpectedly asked, Mr. Soldier, is there something wrong? That soldier wanted to confirm with him. You just said your wife is sick, right? Locke worriedly replied, Yes, sir, my wife is seriously ill, and really can't work. He smiled. Mr. Locke, who said she would work? Young Master Ren said, As long as the workers participate in building the dam, during the construction, family members can stay in the staff dormitory. Locke blankly asked, What is a staff dormitory? The soldier happily explained to him, You can simply understand that during the construction of the dam, young Master Ren will find a house for your family of 3 to live in temporarily. When the dam is completed, you can go back to your old house to live. Locke was moved when he heard this. He quickly knelt down and bowed his head to thank you, sir, thank you, sir. The soldier held Locke's hand tightly. Okay, don't kneel anymore, let me have someone take you and your daughter to choose a room. The people outside heard the conversation and felt interested. Hey, could it be that the words this new lord said are all true? Go register quickly, it'll be a loss if you're late. The crowd of people who wanted to register became more and more. Line up, everyone line up neatly, don't push. At this time Ren was turning on the system panel. The system then notified, congratulations to the host for receiving the lithium iron phosphate battery design 1 from the novice gift package. He clenched his hand into a fist and trembled constantly. Battery design. Ren angrily questioned the system panel. Without a generator, what are you giving me a battery for? Do you want me to hold the battery and go look for lightning? The system panel displayed a new mission, training 5 characters with high stats 0 out of 5. He helplessly thought, asking me to train 5 characters with high stats, where am I going to find these talents? Remembering Leah's case, Leah Lochte 21 years old, leadership 95, strategy 91, strength 97, magic power 95, loyalty 100, special attributes. At first he wanted to train Leah into a character with high stats, but using the system to look at it, this girl has no more room for improvement. He closed his eyes and began to think, it seems that I have to go find some talents in Easeline City. The sound of knocking on the door came from outside. Young Master Ren, Lillian is here to find you, Ren replied. Let her in. Lillian rushed in. Brother Ren, things are not good at the construction site. Everyone is being lazy. Ren was surprised. Lazy? Outside the place where they worked, near the sea. Father, why are you being lazy again? Locke and everyone were lazily sitting there. He then justified. Lillian, Father really wasn't being lazy. After waking up in the morning I already felt very tired. Also it's not just me, everyone around is sluggish. Lillian helplessly said. Everyone, the Lord Brother has given everyone such good treatment. Why are you still being lazy? The man next to him kept yawning. We don't know either. We were like this after waking up in the morning. Another man was tiredly resting his back. Maybe it's because it's been a long time since we worked. Maybe it's because of the disease of being tired as soon as we work. Another person then continued. That's right, maybe we'll get better after resting for a day. If not, then we'll continue tomorrow. Lillian excitedly scolded them. What nonsense are you talking about, Uncle? I think you guys are simply being lazy. The footsteps of Ren were approaching. Lillian agitatedly said, what kind of disease is that you know is nonsense as soon as you hear it, Brother Ren? You quickly tell these people, tell them to work properly, don't be lazy. He walked over and saw him tiredly lying down. The system panel then displayed his stats. Locke Elder 39 years old, leadership 35, strategy 31, strength 37, magic power 35, loyalty 90, state, abnormal, cursed. Ren's eyes then became serious. Lillian, they are not sick. Ren could see the screens covering them. There was something radiating with lightning-like invisible rays. Ren said that, but is cursed. He looked up at everything around and began to examine. The system panel displayed, Geological Survey. Ren looked at the panel, originally intended to use it when building the dam, but now it can be used right away. The land model was then displayed in the system panel, Geological Survey. The host can use this skill to investigate the geological situation in the specified area such as rocks, strata, structure, minerals, hydrology, topography. Ren silently ordered, System, start checking the geological situation of this area. The system spoke, starting to check the geological situation within a radius of 10 kilometers. Please wait. He examined every aspect of the land. What a pity, there's no oil or metal underneath. Wait, what's that? Ren then spoke. Uncle, can you help me dig deep down in this place? I feel like there's something underneath. Locke happily agreed. Yes, young Master Ren. We will dig it up for you no matter how tired we are. He dug until he hit something, and then worriedly said, could it be that we dug up something that shouldn't be dug up? Underneath where Locke had dug there was a mysterious black stone hidden deep. Leah looked at him in surprise. Could it be that young Master Ren is a magical genius? Even I can't feel this weak stream of magic power. How did young Master Ren do it? Ren continued to say, Uncle, dig out this crystal, and put it in the box. He then didn't hesitate. Yes, young Master Ren. He turned to ask Leah how to deal with it. Leah, in normal circumstances, what should be done with people who are cursed? She then said her thoughts. You can go to the church to find a pastor to remove the curse, or you can go to the Mage Association to find a high-level mage to solve it. He then had some consideration. The Mage Association now. Ren turned to inform Lillian. Lillian, you and your father come with me. We will go to the church in the city to find a pastor. She worriedly asked, Brother Ren, is my father really cursed? He secretly speculated that the incident happened because of the old man. Ren replied with a confident voice, Rest assured, I will definitely make the person who did this pay the price. They proceeded to the church together. Eldrich happily came out to greet them. Welcome young Master Ren to come. Ren used suspicious eyes to look at Eldrich. After all, she had to treat the illness. To be sure, first you must confirm the loyalty of this person. System, start assessing. The system began to display her stats. Assessing, Eldrich, Leadership 80, Strategy 87, Strength 62, Magic Power 95, Loyalty 95, Race, Elf Race. Ren looked at Eldrich in surprise. Elf Race, isn't she a human? She introduced herself. Young Master Ren, I am the Saintess Eldrich of the church. May I ask what brings you to the church? He then pointed to Locke standing behind him. This uncle seems to be cursed. Do you have a solution? Ren felt a little relieved in his heart. Looking at her loyalty, it seems that there is no problem. Let her take a look. Eldrich closed her eyes and slowly sensed, well, let me check first. Light began to emanate, making Locke very uncomfortable. She then said after a moment of consideration, Young Master Ren, you are right, this gentleman is indeed cursed. Ren wondered, can you solve it? Eldrich began to create an energy ball. The ball hovered and flew in front of him. It slowly penetrated into the body, pushing the evil dark energy out. Locke regained his spirits. He excitedly said, Young Master Ren, I am healthy again. I will go back to work today. I will definitely complete all the work today. Ren smiled and turned around. Not in a hurry. It's not too late to work after the problem is completely solved. Saintess, I dug this thing up at the construction site. Can you help me identify what it is? They then took out the crystal object stored in the wooden box. Eldrich took the crystal object and looked at it carefully. This black crystal is a common type of magic crystal. It contains a large amount of magic power, used to cast the curse just now. She continued to explain. But instead of calling it a curse, it's better to call it a prank, because with the same amount of magic power, it is entirely possible to kill this gentleman. But the person who cast the magic only made this gentleman feel tired. Ren then wanted to ask, can this type of magic crystal be manufactured? She replied, for a high-level mage, this is quite simple. Making one every day and throwing it into young Master Ren construction site is not a big problem. Ren's eyes then became sinister. Do you know about my project? Eldrich calmly smiled. Who doesn't know about young Master Ren project that brings great benefits to the people? Moreover, thanks to young Master Ren project, the number of people the church has to rescue has also decreased a lot. Her words made Ren feel angry about the old man. It seems that he must give him a lesson. He embarrassedly asked, Saintess, do you have a way to help me remove the curse for the entire construction site? She then waved her hand. Can't do it. Although today young Master Ren was lucky enough to dig up the crystal, but you can't dig it up every day. Moreover, if you have to dig up the magic crystal every day, then this project will definitely not be able to proceed, right? Ren thought to himself, it seems that I can only solve the problem with Malcolm, but Eldrich then made a suggestion. Young Master Ren, I know someone who can solve your problem. It's just that this person is a bit eccentric. Do you want to try? The two stood in front of the house that Eldrich had suggested. Looking at the address written on the paper, he recalled her words. This is the home of Ms. Selina, the former chairman of the Mage Association. Ren knocked on the door with the hope that he must think of a way to get this former chairman of the Mage Association to take action. Suddenly Leah saw something that made her very panic. Leah quickly pushed Ren aside. Young Master Ren, be careful. Inside the house, a big explosion occurred. Ren looked at Leah in surprise, who was anxiously protecting him. An explosion? What happened? Could it be? The figure of a woman walked out from inside. Why did it fail again? Selina angrily said, I don't believe it. Even if I blow up Easeline's city into ruins, I must create that thing. Walking into the house, she then retorted, I refuse. Selina coldly turned her back to them. You go find someone else. I am busy researching new magic tools. I don't have time. Ren then wondered, magic tools, is it like a magic wand? She used magic to make a cake and then happily enjoyed it. Don't use your low understanding to insult my ideas. Leah radiated fierceness, warning her, Miss Selena, please pay attention to the way you speak to young Master Ren. Selena looked at Leah with some fear. This little girl has a fairly strong source of magic power in her body. Selena's terrifying power was suddenly revealed by her. Or you can stay here as an assistant, and when I succeed I will help your little young master. How about it? Leah also burst out with power on this side. Miss Selena, if you don't know manners, I can teach you. The two of them looked at each other with determined eyes. Ren then stopped them. Calm down, Leah, we came to seek help, not to cause trouble. A moment later, they chatted together in peace. Miss Selena, are all these things on the table made by you? Are you making magic items? She replied, this kid also has a good eye, but the things on this table are all failed products. Selena's eyes were full of ambition. She created a lightning bolt on her hand. I want to create a magic tool that can seal the powerful lightning magic power in my body. Ren was suddenly shocked. Seal the lightning magic power. He then asked, you mean you are creating a magic tool that can store electricity? Selena explained that, that's right. The explosion just now was because those things couldn't hold my magic power. Okay, you guys go. I need to rest and continue researching. He then looked at Selena with unpredictable eyes. He then made an exchange. If I said I have a way to help you make a magic tool that can store electrical energy, would you be willing to help me solve the problem with the Mage Association? Selena felt that he was just talking vaguely. Little young master, I don't have time to play with you. Ren seriously said, I'm not kidding. I can help you make a magic tool to store electrical energy. In exchange, can you help me solve the problem with the Mage Association? Lightning bolts continued to cover her. Okay. Selena seriously said, as long as you can make the magic tool that I need, I will not only help you solve that idiot Malcolm, but also let the Mage Association listen to you in the future. She used her power to warn Ren, but if you can't do it, then don't blame me. They proceeded to Selena's garden. Ren thought to himself, I'm worried about where to get electricity. In his hand was the lithium iron phosphate battery design. Ren thought that, it seems that before making a hydroelectric generator, I can only let these mages obediently be human-shaped chargers. The device below has been completed, Selena spoke, has been installed according to what you said. She reminded him, you kid, don't blame me for not reminding you, these useless stones can't hold magic power. As long as you put a little too much magic power in it, it will explode immediately. Ren gave the control wire to her. Rest assured, this battery capacity is about 185 Wh per kg, just right for me to see how much electricity your magic power can charge. Okay, discharge. Selena took the wire in his hand. If so, let me see if this thing is really as strong as you said. The current from Selena's power began to transmit to the device. The electric rays were transmitting inside. Selena couldn't help but be surprised. How can you do it? It actually didn't explode. Ren smiled. Miss Selena, is that all your magic power? It seems that you can't fill half the battery. His words touched Selena's self-esteem. She continued to release her power. Kid, don't be smug with me. You know nothing about magic power. After using almost all her strength, Selena exhausted and lay on the ground. At this time she really believed that this thing can really contain her magic power. Ren sat down to check. He couldn't help but be surprised. Oh wow, she's too strong. This battery capacity is enough for an electric car to run more than 3,000 kilometers, the system displayed. The remaining battery 87%, he didn't expect that, she alone could charge 87%. He looked at the machine. This is a human-shaped power bank. Ren raised the two ends of the wire, the human-shaped power bank group of the Mage Association. The electricity from the two ends of the wire began to touch each other. It's time for you to show your value. Selena unexpectedly asked, Little young master, do you also know lightning magic? Ren confidently declared, Miss Selena, I not only know how to use lightning magic, I can also make everyone in Easeline City know how to use lightning magic. She didn't believe his affirmation. Little young master, don't talk nonsense. How can magic be so easily learned? Ren smugly said, Miss Selena, I also have a magic tool that is stronger than this battery. He spoke to Selena. As long as you are willing to help me, then I will show you a world where everyone knows how to use magic. How about it? Seeing Ren's decisiveness, she was really shaken. A world where everyone knows how to use magic. Malcolm was currently studying the diagram. He thought to himself, calculating the time, young Master Ren is about to have to come to beg this old man. Selena walked inside. Malcolm, long time no see. Malcolm was so frightened that he trembled when he saw Selina. Chairman Selina, why are you here? She came closer, her voice full of sarcasm. You are bold, you dare to oppose the little young master of the Grand Duke's family. Are you planning to rebel? Malcolm unexpectedly looked at Selina. Chairman Selina, what are you saying? How could I have such a dangerous idea? She then grabbed his clothes. Selina angrily scolded, Tell the truth, what did you do at the little young master's construction site? Electrical rays began to form around her. You know my temper is not good, right? As Selina got closer, he was frightened. I'll talk, Chairman, spare me. Malcolm said that. I summoned all the mages of the association, and announced that young Master Ren despised them to cause anger. And the things that he had implemented, then let them make crystals that could release curses, using magic to transport and place them underground at young Master Ren construction site. Making the people become tired, hoping young Master Ren will think these people are lazy. What Malcolm wanted was that finally young Master Ren would apologize to me, and promise to cooperate closely with the Mage Association in the future. He knelt down at Selina's feet and said aggrievedly, That's all, Chairman, I really have no other intentions. She scolded, You are really an idiot, you are being used by others without knowing it. Malcolm puzzled, Chairman, who am I being used by? Selina helplessly could only order, That's right, immediately call those mages who caused trouble back to me. He quickly ran away, yes. Selina then issued a summoning talisman. The image of Ren was displayed. Little young master, I have solved the Mage Association's side for you. He then replied, Thank you very much, Ms. Selina. Selina seriously asked, What about Eldrich? Do you need me to help you solve it? I guarantee I can make him die without a sound. Ren quickly refused. No need. He is not worth worrying about. I still need him to help me hook a bigger fish. Selina nodded. Okay, if you have said so then I won't interfere anymore, but... She happily asked, Those new things that you said, when will you start making them? You must call me when you're making them. Ren smiled. Got it. Just let the mages in the association charge those batteries full. Selina couldn't hide her excitement. Okay. On this side, Eldrich angrily said, My lord, it seems that brat has controlled the Mage Association. What should we do now? Ravencrow sat opposite him and reassured him. Don't panic. The Mage Association in Easelene City has nothing to worry about except for the old woman Selina. He continued to say, Compared to that group of weak mages, it is more important to worry about the mysterious dam project now. Ravencrow said a new plan. If that dam is really like what that young master said, it can make the people of Easelene City revive, then we must find a way to destroy it. Eldrich excitedly replied, Don't worry about the dam. I have prepared a trap for that little young master. He revealed that, I am secretly forcing the nobles in charge of food to increase the price according to my wishes. He then asked, Are you sure those nobles will stand on your side? He affirmed without hesitation, what the little young master forced them to spit out at the banquet. I can secretly help them get back. They can betray me, but they can't betray their own interests. Eldrich tossed the gold coin up. He watched the gold coin floating in the air. The little young master's money will not be enough to last until the day the dam is completed. The coin began to fall to the table. At this time the salesman directly kicked her out. If you don't have money then get out of here immediately. Lillian angrily questioned, How dare you increase the price indiscriminately like this? Yesterday the food was 1 gold coin for 2 bags. Why is it 2 gold coins for 1 bag today? He shouted loudly, It's my business. How much I want to sell my food for. If you can't afford it then get out. Lillian recalled just now, Brother Ren, just leave this hard work of buying food to us. We will definitely buy it at the lowest price, saving money for Brother Ren. He happily replied, Okay, then I'll leave it to you. She reluctantly shouted, You are profiteers who specialize in taking advantage of difficulties. Aren't you afraid of Brother Ren punishing you? He showed a sinister smile. We are doing business honestly. What right does he have to manage us? Continuing, he stepped on Lillian to insult her, this time taking advantage of the situation to make a profit. I will eat you alive. Everyone saw it, and was angry but didn't dare to intervene. The poor should get out. Outside the church, Eldrich angrily said, These people are getting more and more excessive. She couldn't believe that, in just 3 days, the price of food had tripled. Salian worriedly asked, Eldrich, this amount of food is not enough for the people in the tribe to get through the winter. Eldrich replied with an unhappy mood. You take these things back first, I will find a way to get the rest. She took out a large bag of money. Take all this money, Remember to take the original money when you go out. Salien took the bag of money in her hand, and asked her in surprise, this amount of money is a bit too much. Usually bribing those guards doesn't even cost a third of this amount. Eldrich tiredly rubbed her head, just do as I say, yes. Putting the bag of money in her body, suddenly there was a terrifying speed rushing over. Footsteps were approaching in front of them. Both unexpectedly called, Maid. Ren slowly walked from behind Saintus. He held a large bag of money in his hand. Ren then spoke, interested in doing a deal? At the big church. Eldrich asked Ren, what kind of business does young Master Ren want to do with me? The young master said leisurely, when talking about business there is no need to be so nervous, Miss Elf. Eldrich continued, her voice harsh, what are you saying, young Master Ren, this is the human capital, how can there be people of the elf race? Ren replied to her, no need to be so defensive, I know you are people of the elf race, and I have no malice towards you. Hearing this, Eldrich asked suspiciously, what kind of business does young Master Ren want to do with us? The young master looked down at the cart and replied, food. Hearing this, Eldrich then said, young Master Ren, with all due respect, I'm afraid this business you can't do. Ren then wondered, why do you say that? The food in Iselin City is in the hands of the 4 great nobles. These 4 great nobles have stood firm in Iselin City for more than 100 years, tightly controlling the price of food throughout the city. A few days ago at the banquet, although young Master Ren used strong methods to deter some people, but they are only petty people in Iselin City. As soon as she finished speaking, Ren crossed his arms and asked her tentatively, you understand Iselin City that well? Eldrich immediately replied, I have lived here for 120 years. Of course I am very clear, if young Master Ren hadn't touched the Eldwin family at the banquet a few days ago, perhaps there would still be a chance to reconcile, but now I'm afraid. She continued, because of war and natural disasters, this year's food was already not enough. If the price of food was stable then my tribe could barely get through this winter. But now. Hearing this, Ren decisively said, Miss Elf, I promise you, in no more than half a month, the price of food in Iselin City will be cheaper than before they increased the price. At the Klein family estate. The family head of the Klein family, Augustus Klein, said loudly, thanks to the support of Lord City Lord. He continued, our 4 great families have made a lot of money this time. We also have to thank you, Augustus, for your support. We were able to share a part. The 2 merchants replied to him, that's right, thank you, Mr. Augustus. Exactly, thank you, Mr. Augustus. Raising the glass of wine in his hand, Augustus happily invited the guests, come, raise your glasses, wish our business will become more and more prosperous. All 4 people gathered around the table raised their glasses to celebrate. A male servant said to Augustus, Sir, young Master Ren sent an invitation, inviting you and the 3 gentlemen here to attend a banquet. Hearing this, the guest named Roland was stunned. Young Master Ren banquet. He secretly worried, isn't young Master Ren also wanting to punish us? Mr. Roland then said to Augustus, Mr. Augustus, what do you think we should do? We only want to make money and don't want to die. He replied, his voice confident, no need to worry. Lord City Lord has instructed in advance, our selling food at a higher price is legal and valid, as long as we don't offend young Master Ren then. Nothing will happen. Slapping the table, Augustus resolutely said, moreover, as long as our 4 families are united as one, young Master Ren won't be able to do anything to us. He continued, his voice firm, how much the food is sold for, is originally decided by us merchants. Even the current king has no qualification to manage, let alone he is just the youngest son of a Grand Duke. The guests agreed, that's right, Mr. Augustus is right, as long as we seize this opportunity, our family will not fall into poverty for 100 years. Augustus continued, currently the price of our food is 2 gold coins a bag, later if young Master Ren forces the price down, we will reduce 5 coins as a formality. He said grimly, if someone retreats at the last minute, I will not easily forgive them. Mr. Roland immediately replied, Mr. Augustus, rest assured, we will definitely advance and retreat with you. Hearing this, Mr. Augustus said to them, okay, then you follow me to change clothes, we will go to young Master Ren banquet. Mr. Roland doubted, change clothes. At Ren residence. The maid Leah softly called, young Master Ren. The butler informed him, young Master Ren, Mr. Augustus and the others have arrived. Ren lowered his voice, let them in. And also tell the kitchen to serve the food, the butler replied, yes. Augustus respectfully greeted, "Greetings, young Master Ren." Seeing them, Ren sarcastically thought, "Wanting to pretend to be poor with me, you are still too young." Then he said to them, "Bless me, aren't you the nobles who control the food in Easeline City? Why do you look so poor?" Augustus then replied loudly, "Young Master Ren, these past few days, knowing that Young Master Ren project is a great blessing to the people, we also want to contribute a part." Under the leadership of Mr. Augustus, we not only donated a large sum of money to support the project, but also sold the food in the warehouse at the lowest price, bearing losses to sell to the people in the city. Hearing this, Leah thought to herself, her voice indignant, "These unscrupulous merchants are really too shameless, and dare to deceive young Master Ren so blatantly." Ren replied to Augustus' words, "That you can understand my way of doing things really makes me feel moved." He supported his forehead and then continued, "Thank you for your support for me." Then he enthusiastically said, "Today I invited everyone here to discuss this food business." Augustus quickly replied, "Young Master Ren, we also know that young Master is short of money recently." He began to complain, "But currently 2 gold coins a bag is really already losing money." Roland chimed in, "That's right, exactly, young Master Ren." Ren lowered his voice and said to the group of merchants, "You have misunderstood. My meaning is, from tomorrow onwards, can the price of food in Easeline City be increased to 4 gold coins a bag?" The group of merchants were stunned. Four gold coins a bag, increase the price?" Ren replied, "That's right, 4 gold coins a bag. This young master will take 3 parts commission. How about it?" Mr. Augustus continued, his voice hesitant, "Young Master Ren, I'm old. I didn't hear your words clearly. Just now you said to let us increase the price of food to 4 gold coins a bag." Ren reminded him, "Mr. Augustus, don't forget, there are 3 parts commission for me in it." The name Augustus thought to himself, "Originally I thought that Mr. Ren was a young person with no social experience." 2 merchants in the group secretly calculated, "It seems that Mr. Ren is also one of us. All are profiteers. Mr. Ren understands things like this. This road will be wide open." Augustus thought to himself, "If I had known earlier that Mr. Ren was so easy to talk to, I should have visited earlier." He speculated, "But without an official document, we don't dare to increase the price, otherwise it will cause a riot. The unlucky ones will be us." Then he said to Ren, "Thank you, Mr. Ren, for understanding the hired laborers like us. I don't know when Mr. Ren plans to post the notice." He replied immediately, "I have already written the official document. The family seal has also been stamped. After we finish eating we will post this official document." Ren continued, "But I will say first, if anyone doesn't listen to this young master from tomorrow, the ending of the people of the Eldwin family, I don't need to say more, right?" The merchants flattered him, "Mr. Ren, rest assured, we will definitely not fail your good intentions." At the private home of the Klein family, Roland asked Augustus, "Mr. Augustus, do we need to inform the city lord about Mr. Ren matter? The price of food has not decreased but increased. This matter is too strange." Augustus angrily smashed the glass of wine and shouted loudly, "You idiot, are you crazy?" He scolded Roland profusely, "This is such a good thing to let more people know. The 4 of us will earn less money. What ability does a little brat have? I think he just wants to use benefits to win over the 4 of us." Augustus resolutely, "I tell you, the matter of the price of food only the 4 of us know. The wealth of the sky is in front of us. Anyone who doesn't earn money during this national crisis deserves to die." The name Roland then explained, "Mr. Augustus, I have lived to this day. This is the first time I have seen such a good thing. I feel a little uneasy in my heart, so I am a little worried." Then he assured Augustus, "From now on, Roland will listen to Mr. Augustus' orders, and advance and retreat together." Then the group of merchants shouted in unison, "From now on, we will listen to Mr. Augustus' orders, and advance and retreat together." The name Augustus smiled smugly and then continued, "Good, from now on our 4 families will advance and retreat together, taking advantage of the fact that the notice has not been posted. We will immediately go and buy all the food from the small merchants outside." All 4 people shouted loudly, "This time we must earn enough to fill our pockets." At Ren residence, Eldrich scolded Ren, "This bastard, didn't you say you would make the price of food decrease? Why are you colluding with those profiteers?" Saying this she resolutely, "Today I must let you know, my elf race is not easy to bully." Lillian immediately soothed the LD, "Sister Saintess, don't be impatient. Didn't Brother Ren say he would make the price of food decrease?" ELD retorted immediately. "He is now colluding with those profiteers outside. How can it decrease?" Hearing this, Lillian immediately reassured her. Please believe in Brother Ren. I believe Brother Ren definitely has a way. At this time ELD turned to ask Ren, Mr. Ren, do you really want to increase the price of food? As soon as she finished speaking, he immediately replied to her, you don't need to worry about that. The price of food will not last long, at most half a month. The price of food will completely fall to the bottom. Hearing this ELD immediately replied, indeed a young master who has not experienced life, completely does not understand the sinister nature of the world. I have lived for nearly 200 years. And have never seen the price of food decrease after a surge. Ren pressed her, Saintess, let me ask you a question. If I just used a knife to the head of those people, how much do you think the price of food could decrease? They would decrease 1 copper coin or 10 copper coins. The Saintess ELD immediately objected strongly. But you can't push the price up to 4 gold a bag, right? Originally when it was 2 gold a bag, several common people could scrape together money to buy a bag of food to live temporarily. If it increases to 4 gold, they will really not be able to afford food, they will starve to death. Ren replied to her, his voice indifferent, Saintess, 2 gold a bag they will also starve to death, and 4 gold a bag they will also starve to death anyway. After finishing speaking he was silent for a long time. Then he continued, so for the people of Iselin City, 2 gold or 4 gold is no different, they will all starve to death, just one a longer time, one a shorter time. That ELD frowned. You? Ren calmly said, what I do is not to make these profiteers reduce a few coins, such small things are meaningless. The young master continued, the minimum price is 4 gold a bag, what I want to do, is to make these profiteers. Finally Ren grimly mentioned each word, home, destroyed, family, ruined. 7 days later, during the charging process, a portion of lithium ions and lithium iron phosphate separates. Pointing to the whiteboard, Ren continued to lecture. Through the electrolyte transmits to the cathode, attached to the carbon material at the cathode. Pointing to the diagram on the board, he continued, at the same time the anode releases electrons, goes through the external circuit to the cathode, maintaining the balance of the chemical reaction. Ren continued to lecture, during the discharge process, lithium ions separate from the cathode, through the electrolyte to the anode, at the same time the cathode releases electrons, goes through the external circuit to the anode, providing energy to the outside world. As soon as he finished speaking, Selena immediately praised, so that's it. So that's it, indeed exquisite magic. Ren lowered his voice, so today's lecture will end here. As soon as he finished speaking, Leah spoke, young Master Ren, the Saintess ELD Ria has come again. Hearing this Ren wondered, does she have nothing to do every day? Selena continued his words, it's also because you actively increase the price of food. These days the food in the city has been nearly 7 gold a bag. He continued then before he finished speaking ELD shouted loudly, Mr. Ren, didn't you say you would make the price of food decrease? She continued to scold profusely. Now the whole Iselin city, not only the common people, even the small nobles, are about to not be able to afford food anymore. Do you know how much money a bag of food has increased to now? Hearing this Ren asked the maid, Leah, how many days has it been since the price increase started? She politely replied, Mr. Ren, it has been 7 days. As soon as she finished speaking, Ren resolutely said, then, it's time to send those profiteers on their way. ELD Ria immediately said, her voice urgent, Mr. Ren, don't say such vague words anymore, please tell me directly, otherwise our elf race will absolutely not have any relationship with you. Hearing this Ren leisurely replied, I didn't make it clear to you before was because I was afraid that you wouldn't act naturally, making those nobles suspicious. Now let me answer you. He continued, Saintess, the news that our price of food is at least 4 gold a bag has been 7 days. What do you think is the least lacking in Iselin City right now? ELD immediately replied, nothing is lacking. Ren said with a hidden meaning, merchants selling food? The Saintess ELD was stunned for a moment. She implicitly understood, could it be that? Seeing this Ren then said to ELD, finally understand, right, that's right, what is not lacking the most in Iselin City now is food and merchants selling food. He continued, greed is the easiest thing to control in human nature, no one can control themselves before greed. The price of food in Iselin City has increased to 4 gold a bag. This news has spread to the ears of merchants in the surrounding cities. The merchants immediately revealed a frenzied gaze bringing food flocking to Iselin City. The merchants from other places bring a large amount of food to Iselin City, will definitely be bought by those 4 idiots at a high price. This further increases the greed of those merchants. It can be said that Iselin City is the city that does not lack food the most in the entire empire. All the merchants, before a profit of 100%, will no longer have any reason. In their minds there are only 2 words. Ren said in joy, make a fortune. After today, the 4 great nobles of Iselin City will no longer exist. Then he gave a stack of paper to the servant, and instructed, Leah, post this official document all over the corners of Iselin City. Ren continued, tell them that the Saintess Eldria of the church, because she couldn't bear Mr. Ren's way of doing things, has decided to sell all the church's food reserves. He carefully instructed the servant, the selling price is 1 gold coin a bag, you must let everyone know. Leah replied yes. Hearing all of Ren's words, the Saintess immediately asked, wait, Mr. Ren, why leave such a good reputation to me? Ren calmly replied, because I don't have food, how can I sell it? Eld continued, I also don't have that much food. You, don't tell me you plan to make me sell all the food reserves for the winter of the tribe? The Saintess anxiously said, Mr. Ren, I tell you that is absolutely not possible. This is the food for my elf race to get through the winter. Hearing this, Selena said while smiling, Eldria, you are really too naive. If it were me, I would definitely quickly listen to his words, immediately sell all the food. In my hand, a second late, and you will lose a lot of money. The Saintess Eld immediately replied, our elf race doesn't care about money, we only need food. Ren advised her, Saintess, just do as I say, your food will be sold more and more, rest assured. Then Ren turned to say to Selena, Miss Selena, the matter of blockading this city will be handed over to you, and the Mage Association. Selena confidently replied, rest assured, I will not let a mouse run out of Iselin City. Finally Ren shouted loudly, okay everyone, it's time for those profiteers to pay the price. Ren was checking the books, next to him was Leah waiting. Seeing her silent for a long time, Ren then asked, Leah, what's wrong? Leah politely asked him, Sir, I worry that things will not go so smoothly. If those merchants just hold on for a few days, then what will happen when Miss Eldria's food is sold out? Hearing this, Ren then explained to her, Leah, there are 2 types of strategies. One is called conspiracy. One is called scheme. Conspiracy can be avoided, but scheme can't be avoided. He continued, the merchants from other places have all been blinded by desire, putting their entire property and lives on this gamble. Ren explained more clearly, wanting to make a fortune overnight. Now if they know the price of food is decreasing, they will definitely compete to sell off to withdraw. He concluded, because late is death. At the private home of Augustus Klein, the butler called loudly, Mr. Augustus, things are not good. As soon as he saw the owner, the butler anxiously said, the church has issued a notice, saying that in order to save the people they have decided to sell the church's food reserves. The price is only 1 gold coin a bag. Roland worriedly asked him, Mr. Augustus, what should we do now? The 2 merchants were equally panicked. It's over. I forgot about the church. That's right. What should we do now? At the beginning we accumulated food were all bought at a price of 2 gold a bag. Augustus calmly replied, what's the panic? How much food does a church have? Enough for the people of Iselin City to eat for a few days. Then he ordered the butler, you find a few people to mix into the church. Buy as much as you can, yes. The sound of people in the crowd was noisy. I want 5 bags of food, I also want 5 bags. The voices of the people were frantic. I want 10 bags, Eldria gently said. Everyone don't push, there is enough food for everyone to buy. The Pope knew that everyone's life was difficult, and has specially sent people to bring 100,000 bags of food. 2 men in the crowd shouted loudly, I don't believe it, everyone buy quickly, it'll be gone if you're slow. That's right, that's right. That Eld said loudly, everyone don't push anymore. Please line up, and the crowd of people were still noisy. Give it to me, buy it quickly, give it to me. The group of guards suddenly spoke, quiet for me. The leader of the group of soldiers said to Eld, Saintess, this is the food provided by the Pope, this is the first batch, from tomorrow the other teams will successively transport food to Iselin City. The Saintess Eld thought to herself, okay, Mr. Ren, don't add any more scripts for me, I'm about to not be able to handle it, how should I answer? And if the Pope finds out, what should I do? Hearing all the words of the soldier, the people all shouted, there is food, we are saved, there is food. A merchant saw this and then worried, it's over, this business has failed, it was ruined by the church. He waited in his mind for a long time, When I bought it was 60 silver coins. The transportation cost was about 10 silver coins, including my costs these past few days. 95 silver coins a bag of food. I still have a profit of 10 silver. Sell it immediately. Can't wait anymore. Waiting any longer and I'll definitely lose money. Then that merchant shouted loudly, selling food here, selling food here, this year's new food, 95 silver coins a bag, 95 silver coins a bag. The people heard this and then scrambled. I want it. Give it to me. Give me 10 bags. I also want 10 bags. Witnessing this scene, 2 merchant fathers and sons cursed inwardly. Bastard, you dare to play me like this? Ah, I've already wanted to die, then let's all die together. These 2 people immediately shouted loudly, selling food here, 90 silver coins a bag, selling food here, 90 silver coins a bag, 88 silver coins a bag, 85 silver coins a bag. Witnessing the scene before their eyes, Leah sighed. Mr. Wren, you are too? It's really exactly as you said. The sound of trading below rang out. 79 silver coins a bag. Wren softly replied, see, Leah, that is human nature. Just selling slower than others for 1 second, you will lose several times as much. Everyone is afraid of selling slow. So they are all frantically dumping goods. Leah continued, young master, so surely the price of food will return to the level of 50 silver coins a bag. Right, then your damn project will be able to be completely on schedule. Wren replied to her, 50 silver, Leah, you underestimate these merchants. He continued, wait until Augustus and his partner start dumping goods. Food will be the most worthless thing in the entire Iselin city. Hearing this, Leah wondered, young master, could it be that Augustus and the others will also dump goods like the merchants from other places? At the beginning they bought on the market for 2 gold. Even more expensive. She continued, moreover, Augustus and the others at the banquet showed that they were very united. They can't turn their backs on each other. As soon as she finished speaking, Wren immediately said, united as one, you think too highly of them, Leah. He continued, before benefits, no one can withdraw completely. Then Wren continued, the price of food in Iselin city can no longer cause any waves. It's time to talk to the Saintess about the remaining transaction. Let's go. Leah immediately replied, yes, sir. The butler reported to Augustus, Mr. Augustus, the food merchants from other places have come like crazy, constantly reducing the price. He continued, now the food has decreased to 75 silver coins a bag. Roland heard this and then objected, impossible, what nonsense are you talking about? Isn't the food in this Iselin city all in our hands? Where did the food from the outside come from? The butler replied, Mr. Roland, it's true, how dare the villain lie to you? Augustus pondered, merchants selling food from other places, increased the price. Saying this he shouted, I understand, I understand. Augustus shouted loudly, his voice indignant, young Master Wren, you are really vicious, you want our family to be completely destroyed? Roland and other merchants asked in unison, Mr. Augustus, what is going on after all, Mr. Augustus? Augustus immediately explained, first of all, Mr. Wren has spread rumors about the fact that the price of food in Iselin city has soared. He continued, will definitely make the merchants of the surrounding cities red-eyed, attracting those merchants to bring food into Iselin city. Augustus continued to explain, waiting for the merchants to flood into the city with food, he borrowed the name of the church to break the price, causing all the merchants who had entered the city to fall into panic. Finally those merchants from other places, in order not to lose, had to cut their losses. Roland stunned and said, Mr. Wren again used such despicable methods. Augustus resolutely replied, I still have a plan, maybe can help us turn the situation around. Roland hastily replied, Mr. Augustus, please speak. Augustus immediately explained his plan. This amount of food is only enough for the people of Iselin city to eat for a few more months. As long as we accumulate food until the people lack food, we will definitely be able to sell it at a high price. Then he threatened, today if we are of one mind, resolutely do not sell. We will be able to wait until the day of break-even. If there is someone among us who wants to sell off, then all will die. Hearing this, Roland hesitated and waited for a long time. Finally Roland continued, Mr. Augustus is right. I have to go home and order the sealing of all the food. Leaving, he thought to himself, what are you waiting for? Immediately liquidate all the food, absolutely not sell slower than them. The 2 remaining merchants thought to themselves, Roland, you are planning to run, right? If so, then everyone take care of themselves. Then they asked to leave first, Mr. Augustus, we also go back to arrange a little. At this time the butler kneeled and reported to Augustus, Master, I'll go and instruct the people below to watch the food, absolutely not sell it. That Roland snapped, you bastard, if you don't sell, and those 3 bastards sell it all, what will we do? The butler jumped, master, then. Augustus ordered the servant, sell all the reserved food immediately, don't keep a grain. Ren pointed to the pile of food and said, Saintus, how about it? Is this food enough for the people in your tribe to get through the winter? Eld asked back, her voice suspicious. Why is the food selling more and more? Ren immediately explained, because you are selling at the highest price, buying in at the lowest price. Between one sale and one purchase, you will earn at least a few tens of thousands of gold. The servant unexpectedly ran in to report, Mr. Ren, the food has decreased in price again. Now 1 gold coin can buy 3 bags. Hearing this, Ren then said to Eld, see, I said wait a little longer and the price of food will be even lower. You didn't believe me. If you go buy now, then you can buy more than a dozen bags of food. Then he continued, now can we talk about our transaction, Saintus? Eld asked back, her voice suspicious, what exactly do you want to do a deal with our elf race? Ren calmly replied, everything. The Saintus stunned, everything. He agreed, that's right, everything, all aspects of the elf race's eating, wearing, living, going, we can do, from small things like food, to big things like land. As long as the elf race has needs, we can discuss prices. As soon as he finished speaking, that Eld immediately said, such a big matter I can't decide, you have to talk to our queen. Ren replied, no problem, you help me make an appointment with your queen. I can go any time. Ren gave the letter to Salian and said, please pass this letter to the queen. Ren thought to himself, after overcoming the food crisis, killing the chicken to warn the monkey this time, the nobles in the entire Iselin city will temporarily not cause any big trouble. He recalled, the Mage Association has been controlled by me, it's not long before the church is also controlled. Ren secretly calculated, City Lord Eldrich currently still has 2 trump cards in his hand, which are the army and taxes. As long as he can grasp the control of the army, no matter what tricks Eldrich has, he will not escape his palm. He muttered to himself, I have to think of a way to infiltrate the internal army, it's best to. Suddenly Leah called him, young master. While rubbing Ren's temple she said, you continue to rest, let Leah help you relax. Ren then replied, it's not so tired, just. Suddenly a man's voice echoed, these damned soldiers, relying on the power of the Grand Duke to act recklessly. Why doesn't God use thunder to strike all those soldiers to death? Eld gently replied, that matter, you should take kindness as the root. The merchant took advantage of the situation. I came to Iselin City to do business, making a profit and a loss, I accept it. But on the way home I was robbed of so much money by those rogue soldiers. How can I still do business? He pointed to Ren and then said, it seems that the Grand Duke also. Suddenly Ren interrupted him, sir. Ren asked the 2, what's wrong? The merchant tentatively asked him, who are you? Ren replied immediately, is the person who wants to do business with you, sir. At the gate of Iselin City. The soldier shouted loudly, stop, where did you come from, what are you carrying in the car behind? Lillian then replied, Mr. Soldier, I am a citizen of Iselin City, the things on the car are goods bought in the city, planning to transport them to the elf tribe to see if there is anything that can be traded. The soldier immediately ordered, you say trade and you can trade, search it for me. The group of soldiers began to search the goods on the car. They ruthlessly stabbed sharp spears into the goods, breaking everything. Lillian immediately lamented, sir, please don't do that, the jars are all broken, how can I transport them out? A soldier said, boss, there's nothing, what should we do? The leading soldier then replied, then according to the regulations collect some passage fee. Then he said to Lillian, little girl, pay some customs tax and you can go. She immediately objected, you broke all my things, and you still want to collect customs tax. That guy shouted loudly, little girl, either pay the tax, or get out of here, don't block the way. She replied, aye, Lillian. Then she said to the worker, give the money, yes? She showed assent and told him, here. The soldier reminded Lillian, Mr. Ren has increased the customs tax. The current customs tax is 5 silver coins. She flared up, what, 5 silver coins? My goods add up to only 3 silver coins. You are asking me to give 5 silver coins. The soldier pointed his spear at her and then said, finally pay or not pay. If you don't pay then quickly get out, don't block the way. Hearing this she paid the tax to him and thought to herself, okay, daring to impersonate Mr. Ren to deceive people. That day he didn't order to increase the customs tax at all. Waiting until Mr. Ren's plan is completed. Let's see how he deals with you. The soldier said to his companions, let them go, yes. On the carriage. Ren repeated the merchant's words. This named young Master Ren is really not a good thing, increasing the customs tax so much. The merchant cautiously replied, Sir, please respect him a little. Mr. Ren is the benefactor of our Easeline city. You are not allowed to slander him like that. Ren then asked him, You are indeed a strange merchant. That soldier clearly said that young Master Ren told them to increase the customs tax. You don't resent young Master Ren, but you resent those soldiers. The merchant then replied, his voice praising, You probably just arrived so you don't know. He used strange schemes to lower the price of food in order to save the people of Easeline City. He said in a low voice, Although I also lost a lot in this matter, but this is the first time I have seen a lord care about the people like this. Then he enthusiastically said, If there is a chance to meet him, I will definitely express to him that I am willing to turn into minced meat for him. Hearing this, Ren then asked the merchant, But on the way here I heard that the youngest son of that great lord not only killed people indiscriminately at the banquet, but also mobilized the people to dig some project. He replied, You are probably talking about the Eldwin family, they deserved it. The merchant continued, You know them, you must be an outsider, everyone doing business in this Easeline city knows the Eldwin family. He recounted, Common people all think that the Eldwin family made a fortune thanks to the casino, in fact it is not so. Ren then asked, What else do you know? As soon as he finished speaking, the merchant immediately looked around warily. He said in a low voice to Ren, The real business of the Eldwin family is human trafficking. He stunned, What did you say? Ren was secretly annoyed, Damn it, I was already short of labor, you dare to touch my labor force. Then he began to speculate, he must think of a way to control the border defense army first, otherwise once it falls into internal strife, it is difficult to ensure that other countries will not take advantage of the situation. Suddenly a voice echoed, making the people in the car pay attention. Why are you still collecting customs tax? Lillian asked the guard, Wasn't the customs tax already collected when leaving Easeline City? The guard immediately replied, The customs tax of Easeline City is of Easeline City, the customs tax of the border post is of the border post. Lillian then objected, You are talking nonsense. Before, the customs tax clearly only needed to be paid once. The soldier shouted loudly, Little girl, either obediently hand over the money, or get back from me, she stunned you. Then she asked him, How much is the customs tax? He replied curtly, 1 gold coin. Lillian snapped, What, 1 gold coin, you are robbing money, right? Seeing this, Ren then said loudly, Lillian, just follow their rules. She obeyed, Brother Ren, okay. The guard saw this and then shouted loudly, There are still people inside. Everyone get down here for me. He continued, This is the border post. Everyone entering and leaving must be checked. As soon as he stepped down, Ren said, If you want to check. He generously said, Then I will let you check. The guard stunned, You are. Unexpectedly a soldier cursed, Drizzt, you old undead thing, why do you still dare to come here? Ren turned to ask Drizzt, Acquaintance? He hesitantly said this. Drizzt recounted with a serious face, These people used to be mountain bandits in the nearby mountains, after cooperating with the Eldwin family responsible for kidnapping and trafficking people. They were brought here by the Eldwin family. The soldier exuded a murderous aura. He threatened, Drizzt, last time you didn't pay enough customs tax when you went to the city, causing me to be scolded terribly. Suddenly, he raised his hand and hit him hard in the face, angrily saying, If you don't make up the amount of money, don't even think about leaving today. Drizzt tremblingly raised his hand to cover his face and said, Nonsense, the amount of money you said I paid enough at the time, not missing a cent. He raised the spear and pointed it at him, maliciously saying, Not missing money at that time, doesn't mean not missing money now, if the person sitting in this carriage wasn't you. Our brothers would collect a few gold coins and let you pass. He continued, But having seen your face already, without 5 gold coins don't even think about leaving, under the tip of his spear. At the same time hearing such words, Diz trembled and couldn't speak. You. Suddenly Ren interrupted and asked in confusion, That's not right. With such heavy customs tax, why is the financial income of Easeline City so low? He turned to look at him, startled, and said, Where did you come from? When he saw Leah, standing before her beauty, he couldn't help but think to himself, This Easeline City actually has such a beautiful little sister. Drizzt, seeing this, quickly intervened between Ren and the soldier, holding the money bag to negotiate. You want 5 gold coins, right? I will give it right away. Please don't make things difficult for them, they are my business partners. He quickly snatched the money bag in his hand, saying, You also know what's what. Then he threw it back to the soldier behind him, ordering, Keep it safe for me. Next, he turned his target to Leah. He reached out towards her asking, Beautiful woman, where is your home? But before he could just touch her, an arm stretched out and grabbed him. The owner of that hand was Ren. He pondered and said, Originally I was still planning to see if you could do free labor. Now it seems that it is completely irredeemable. He saw that he was breaking his good deed. Waving the weapon in his hand, he said, Want to die? But before he could touch him, Leah took a step faster. She held the knife and swiped it across the soldier's neck. Instantly the knife was covered in his blood. Leah picked up the blood-stained knife, not seeing clearly what her expression was like at this time. Seeing this scene, the other soldiers were shocked and stood staring at him falling down. While Lillian was still panicking, Ren calmly spoke, Leah, kill all the resistors, and then let our guard team lead to be responsible for guarding this place. Leah submitted, placing her hand on her chest saying, Yes, sir. At this time she saw the soldiers beginning to run inside. They announced, Someone, come here quickly, there is someone killing people here. Instantly, a figure swooshed over. They shouted, Help. A cold blade was placed across the soldier's neck. He panicked and shouted, Help. In just a moment, Leah swooshed over. It seemed that all of them had been quickly eliminated by her. She opened her eyes wide, her face still stained with their blood. Ren looked at the numbers running on the screen, and said incomprehensibly, Are these people really soldiers? The stats also differ too much. He recalled his father's instructions, Ren, behind Iselin City is the territory of the enemy country. You must be careful, absolutely must not cause conflict between the two countries. Understand, he replied, Yes, father. He sighed in relief, thinking to himself, Luckily I discovered this big problem, otherwise once a conflict with the Empire occurs, the loser can only be me. At this time Leah walked in front of the remaining soldiers. They sat down and looked at her in fear. She held the knife, her face full of murderous aura looking at them from above. Suddenly someone from somewhere said loudly, Who dares to cause trouble at the border of Iselin City? They like catching a life-saving straw, happily said, General Caesar has arrived, we are saved. They pleaded for help. General Caesar, save us, Caesar calmly asked. You are the ones causing trouble at the border, right? Suddenly seeing something, he startled. Looking at the stats on the screen, he couldn't help but sigh. If not considering loyalty, then Caesar is indeed a talent. He stepped forward and asked him, You are Caesar of the Hulk family. You have an older brother working in the territory of Prithia, right? Caesar was a little surprised. He asked, Who are you? How do you know about him? Ren calmly explained, Because Prithia Edgar is my older sister. He stunned and said, You are young Master Ren, is the youngest son of Grand Duke Aldalion. At the same time the soldier next to him unexpectedly said, What, the Grand Duke's son? He regretfully said, It's over, we offended the wrong person. Suddenly Caesar froze, as if remembering something. I remember, my brother's letter. The letter wrote, Caesar, young Master Ren will soon come to Iselin City. You must pay attention to protecting his safety. He recalled, A month ago, a man brought a large box full of gold in front of him. He said, General Caesar, in the future this Iselin City will have to rely on you. He replied with a smile, Thank you, Lord City Lord, for your favor. The two people with fake masks talked back and forth. The Grand Duke sent you to this place where birds don't even shit. Clearly he doesn't value you. Your strength should be worth a higher position. Caesar's face became serious. Ren asked him, These are all what you deserve, right? Hearing this he replied without thinking, That's right, these are what I deserve. He said, I shouldn't waste my life in this place. He drew his sword, mobilizing the soldiers, Dare to impersonate young Master Ren. All soldiers listened to the order. Caesar looked at him full of murderous intent, saying, Kill the impostor young Master Ren, I will reward you greatly. Leah hearing this angrily pointed at him saying, Bold Caesar Hulk, are you planning to rebel? The soldier hearing the order quickly persuaded, Sir Caesar, don't act recklessly, Sir Caesar, this is the crime of extermination. One agreed, That's right, Sir Caesar. Seeing this he drew his sword coldly saying, What you have just done, have you forgotten all of it? He slammed the tip of his sword into the ground, threateningly saying, You have embezzled the money of the Grand Duke's son, you have violated the law. Then he swung his sword forward, aggressively saying, This is the westernmost part of the Caradorial Empire. We bring the wealth that we have plundered here over the years, bringing Ren Edgar's head to the north of the Alvis Empire. We can at least be a small noble living a comfortable life. Caesar roared, "Live or die, you choose yourself, I don't force you." The soldiers were now embarrassed, staring blankly saying, "Should we listen to the general, this?" Seeing the situation was not good, Leah thought to herself, "Damn it, these soldiers have been bewitched by him." They obeyed, the general is right. Then they shouted in unison, proceeding to surround Ren, "Follow the general, follow the general." He sneered, asking him, "Young Master Ren, do you have any last words before you die?" At this time he did not panic, calmly saying, "If you know your mistakes and turn back, I am willing to give you a chance to start over, unfortunately." He shouted, ordering, "All troops listen to the order, charge." This word was spoken, "Kill." All the soldiers charged at the same time, pointing their spears at him. Leah put the knife under the skirt at her feet, complaining, "This skirt is really cumbersome." Then she decisively tore open that skirt. A piece of floor under the impact was cracked. Leah rushed over, with just one strike taking a life. Suddenly a spear appeared in front of her. She quickly turned and dodged that blow. Twisting the knife in her hand, she slashed at the neck of the one in front. Suddenly she heard a voice, "Die." There was someone holding a weapon aiming at Ren. Instantly she threw the knife towards it. That one was hit, being thrown to one side. He sneered and said, "Caesar, this is your last chance, don't be stubborn anymore." He, hearing this, did not admit defeat, continuing to aggressively order, "Everyone charge for me. Whoever kills him will be rewarded 1,000 gold coins." The soldiers, running over, shouted in unison, "Charge! Kill!" One moved forward, planning to ambush behind Leah. He said, "The gold is mine." Suddenly, whoosh, a sound, he was kicked backward. Leah used her foot to take him down after just one blow. The other soldiers were successively knocked down by Leah, shouting miserably, "Ah!" In just a moment, most of them had been defeated by her, shouting pitifully, "AAA ah!" Seeing the situation was not good, Caesar ordered the person next to him, "Mage, listen to the order. Take down that bitch for me." He replied respectfully, "Yes, Sir Caesar." The mage began to practice magic. He released arrows of ice, shouting, "Ice arrow." Many arrows progressed towards Leah at the same time. She angrily thought, "Damn it." The arrows of ice made her feet freeze, unable to move. Leah struggled, thinking, "Can't move." Taking advantage of the time, Caesar ordered, "All troops listen to the order. That bitch can't move anymore. Immediately kill Ren Edgar." The soldiers all rushed up at the same time, shouting in unison, "Kill." Ren threw the hammer to her, saying, "Leah, find a way to jump into the air immediately." Leah caught the hammer, respectfully saying, "Yes, young Master Ren." She used the hammer to break the ice at her feet. Then she jumped into the air according to his instructions. Instantly a green magic layer appeared under her feet. Ren released the electric wire that was still charged onto the ground. He said, "Just right for me to try the power of this thing." The wire fell to the ground. It transmitted electricity to the ground, which caused all those soldiers to struggle from being electrocuted. Because he had anticipated this, Ren stood on a piece of tile so he did not have to suffer the same fate as them. Those ones were electrocuted to be extremely miserable. He luckily smiled secretly in his heart. "Luckily I broke the things to collect." The remaining ones were shocked before the scene before their eyes. "What's going on? Lightning magic?" He calmly said, "I wish there was a camera. I could record this scene, making a video warning about labor safety in the future, reminding workers to use electricity safely." Caesar angrily ordered, "Bastard, why did you stop? Charge for me and kill him." The soldier next to him began to fear and stopped him. "Things are not good, General. Maybe young Master Ren has used restraint magic. Whoever gets close to him will die." Instantly he was beheaded by him immediately. He threatened, his face full of murderous intent, saying, "Whoever else is disturbing the army will be beheaded." Caesar did not admit defeat so easily, continuing to mobilize. "Immediately charge, he only has one person. I don't believe he can kill all of you." A soldier trembled when seeing the scene just now. He stared blankly, said, "What's going on?" Leah wondered and asked him, "Young master, why were these soldiers not knocked down by your magic?" He sternly replied to her, "Probably out of battery. After all, I only brought one battery to test the power." Hearing this, Leah grabbed his hand worriedly, saying, "Young master, then I will take you away from here right now." Ren smiled slightly, and pondered, saying, "No need to rush, today Caesar can't jump around anymore." Seeing that his magic had lost its effect, he ordered, "Immediately chase after him. It seems that Ren Edgar's magic has lost its effect. Kill." Suddenly from somewhere a lightning bolt struck towards them. Looking at the lightning bolt before their eyes, He unexpectedly said, "How can it be? Why is the Mage Association here?" From where Selina appeared, she said terrifyingly, "Caesar, your little pup's courage is not small." She turned to say to Ren, "Little young master, I arrived just in time, right?" He turned back and replied, "Arrived very timely, the battery just ran out of power." Selina asked, "You used up that battery already? What was the effect?" He slowly replied, "After capturing Caesar and the others, I will slowly tell you." She said, "Understood, sir." Selina spoke loudly, ordering, "All mages listen to the order, assist Mr. Ren to eliminate the rebel army." They immediately obeyed the order, yes. At the same time intermediate lightning magic fell. Those names were now begging for mercy, spare me. They shouted miserably, "Help, I was wrong." Suddenly a sword pointed down. It struck straight down on Ren, but Leah had blocked in time. She was blocking with her knife, thinking, "It's over." He scowled, thinking to himself, "I was approached by that maid." Leah had a prepared stance, one leg ready to lift up. His eyes widened, thinking, "Not good." Leah kicked him hard in the face, causing the sword to also fall from his hand. A loud collision rang out, he was kicked to the wall in front. Having performed the attack, she lowered her leg. Looking at Caesar, who was kicked away by her in one kick, drooping his head in one place. Leah bowed her head with a gloomy face, saying, "Scum." Ren Edgar was sitting and reading. He was thinking, "This is?" Caesar, who was tied up, had woken up. He asked, "Awake?" Ren Edgar said, "These past few years you have been a border guard and have embezzled a lot of money. Since when did you start cooperating with Eldrich?" Caesar glared and angrily scolded, How did you know?" He looked up and calmly said, "Don't be so surprised. I have long known that Eldrich would betray. It's just that I am still waiting for a time, an opportunity to capture him completely." He continued, "Thanks to you, I have finally waited." Caesar smiled confidently and said, "You think just with the bit of evidence in your hand you can do anything to Mr. Eldrich?" Ren Edgar crossed his arms and spoke sonorously, No, you have misunderstood, these books have no threat to him. I am only using these books to know how much the commercial tax of Easeline City is in a year. This has great reference value for my renovation of Easeline City later." He laughed loudly and said, "Renovate Easeline City? You are dreaming. Mr. Eldrich holds the lives of all the nobles in Easeline City in his hands. They will not listen to you." He smiled and handed the paper to Leah, saying, "Caesar Hulk, I tell you something." He stood up and stepped forward. "The living are called nobles." Ren Edgar looked down from above and said, "The dead are called corpses." Caesar said in fear, "You plan to bathe the blood of the nobles of Easeline City?" He put 2 fingers out and smiled, saying, "The nobles of Easeline City have 2 choices. One is, like you to go down the road of death together. 2 is, obediently listen to me and work for me in the future." He smiled and continued, "You think they will choose which one?" Ren Edgar closed his eyes and thought, calculating the time, it is almost autumn. Surely Grand Duke Sorian will still mobilize troops to come this year. He looked up and continued to think, I must quickly repair the city walls, otherwise once it falls into war, this wall cannot stop any enemies. Ren Edgar opened the map to examine. He thought, the west is the territory of the elf race of the Saintis. As long as the negotiations are successful there will be no war. The east is the territory of my older sister, so there is no need to worry. The most dangerous is the north of Grand Duke Sorian. Leah stood behind and said, "Young master, all the money that was extorted from the border fortresses has been collected, about 350,000 gold. He turned to smile and said to her, "Let our guards take over the defense here first, divide each person 100 gold trees, the remaining amount load onto the carriage and bring back to Easeline City." Ren Edgar greeted Miss Selina. Selina startled and turned around. He stepped forward and said, "You and the Mage Association have worked hard this time." She said with a happy smile, not hard at all." Selina held the battery towards him and then said, "But little young master, can you explain to me in more detail about the working principle of this battery? Why can someone who has no magic power also use it?" He scratched his head and smiled, saying, "Okay, on the way back I will slowly explain it to you." She happily said, "Okay then." Suddenly someone ran over calling, "Mr. Wren." Malcolm rushed over. "Chairman Selina, things are not good." Selina angrily said with a straight face, "I am fine. What is the matter after all? Say it quickly." Malcolm hurriedly announced, "Mr. Wren, City Lord Eldrich has occupied the city to rebel." She, hearing this, startled and exclaimed, "What?" He smiled lightly, thinking, finally couldn't bear it any more. Eldrich." Selina startled and turned to ask him, "Little young master, What should we do now, in order to suppress the Border Defense Army? I have let all the mages in the association out. Now there is no one in Iselin City to be our internal support. But he only smiled faintly. Don't worry, Miss Selina. He crossed his arms and continued, the moment Eldrich occupied the city to rebel, he had already lost. Ren Edgar galloped on horseback to the city. He called loudly, Eldrich. He continued, you have been driven to a dead end by me? Eldrich Kaga stood in his arms and said, isn't this young Master Ren? What are you doing in Iselin City today? He sternly asked, Eldrich, I am very curious. Why did you betray my father? Eldrich Kaga angrily roared, why? It is because he threw me to this place where birds don't even shit. He recounted, that year I and your father built the empire together. He continued, as a result after your father became the Grand Lord, not only did he not give me the treatment I deserved. Eldrich Kaga clenched his hands and continued, but also threw me and my family to this remote and desolate area. I have repeatedly written letters to him, hoping that he could transfer me to a more prosperous place. The result was all rejected by him. He pointed directly at him. All of this is what your father asked for himself. If you want to blame, then blame him for being unfeeling and meaningless. A few more people stepped out, he said. These people are all people who fought the world together with your father in the past, but finally did not receive the treatment they deserved. Eldrich Kaga smiled and said, we are not rebelling, but taking back what we have won. Ren Edgar smiled lightly, saying, I still thought you could say some noble reason. He continued, the result is just the most boring conflict of interests. He said with a stern face confidently, I give you a chance. Whoever wants to live immediately leave the city and surrender. If you wait 3 days after I break the city, don't blame me for not showing mercy. 2 people sneered and said, 3 days, little young master, do you know how long it takes to attack Iselin City? Eldrich Kaga smiled broadly and said, young Master Ren, haven't you been frightened into being stunned? You are just a fool who only knows how to talk. He continued, Ren, if that's the case, do you dare to bet with me? Ren Edgar crossed his arms uncomfortably. Bet what? He confidently said, within 3 days, if you can't break through the walls of Iselin City, you must obediently surrender to me to deal with. How about it? He frowned and asked, what if I can break through? Eldrich Kaga laughed loudly and said, if you can break through, I will let you deal with me. He widened his eyes and smiled, saying, how about it, Ren Edgar, do you dare to accept the bet? Selina turned to say to him, little young master, there's no need to listen to that Eldrich, we can attack slowly. Leah said with a serious face, Mr. Ren, I have already reported Eldrich's betrayal to the Grand Duke. We just need to wait for the Grand Duke to send troops to eliminate him. There is no need to make such a meaningless bet. He confidently shouted at him, why is young Master Ren not saying anything? Could it be that you are afraid? Surely you are afraid. Just now you said you would break through the city in 3 days. Now you are a turtle hiding your head. If you have the ability, then accept the bet. What are you afraid of? Ren Edgar calmly said, if you want to ask for humiliation yourself, then I will satisfy you. I accept this bet. I hope you will keep your promise 3 days later. He continued, okay, today everyone is witnessing, we will keep our word. He said, that's right, Ren, I almost forgot to tell you one thing. Ren Edgar said about the plan, the army of the Alvis Empire has received the news of my rebellion. Their army will probably only take about 10 more days to reach the border region. He smiled cruelly, saying, Ren, don't get captured by the enemy country at that time. In the command camp in the middle of the open land. Ren Edgar was listening to the report from 2 servants. Selina seriously said, Sir, although the walls of Iselin City look dilapidated, but with our meager number of people it is very difficult to break through. A soldier ran in and said, Mr. Ren, we will take you and run to the south, waiting for the Grand Duke's troops to arrive. We will come back to attack Iselin City. He pondered and said, don't worry. The walls of Iselin City will definitely be broken 3 days later. He continued, now I am worried about the army of the Alvis Empire. Ren Edgar turned to say to Leah, Leah, is the amount of firewood and dry grass that I told you to collect enough? She respectfully said, Sir, it has all been prepared, and according to your request, we have found a lake nearby. He continued to turn to say to Selina, Selina, do as I say, let the mages use ice magic in the lake. You must lower the temperature of the lake water. It's best to be around 0 degrees. Selina asked in doubt, I say you Mr. Ren, can these things really break through the walls of Iselin City? He seriously said, rest assured, the walls of Iselin City can only hold out for 3 days at most. In front of Eldrich Kaga's city. Ren Edgar galloped on horseback, shouting, "Charge!" The soldiers advanced one after another, "Charge!" A rain of arrows fell down. The soldiers used shields to block. Eldrich Kaga, seeing this, wondered, thinking, this group of people attacking the city didn't bring weapons. Why are they holding firewood? The soldiers threw the firewood and then ran back, causing him to wonder what, after throwing the firewood, they left. He turned to ask the person next to him, "What's the situation? Have you encountered this when defending the city?" He asked in confusion, "Lord Eldrich, we have never seen this either. Perhaps they want to set fire to burn the city walls." Eldrich Kaga, annoyed, punched the person next to him. "Set fire to burn stone? Do you hear if what you are saying is reasonable?" He covered his face in pain and said, "But really I can't think of anything else." He shouted loudly, "You!" Someone unexpectedly pointed down. "Lord Eldrich, it's on fire. They really plan to set fire to burn the city walls." Eldrich Kaga wondered and asked, "Really planning to use fire to burn stone?" He contemptuously said, "This Ren is really an idiot." A soldier ran over and asked him, "Lord Eldrich, do we need to let our mages put out the fire, or shoot dead those soldiers transporting firewood?" Eldrich Kaga turned to say, "No need. Those mages that we borrowed from the Alvis Empire must wait until the most important time to take action." He pointed and ordered, "Can't waste magic power in this place. Also don't waste arrows to let them make firewood." He confidently continued, 3 days later, I will humiliate him right on this city wall." The fire was still burning. In Eldrich Kaga's city. Eldrich Kaga was sitting when someone came to report, "Lord Eldrich, it seems that the opposite side is not planning to burn the fire anymore." He stood up and then said they burned all the firewood they had stored for the winter? He proudly said, "Everyone, come with me to witness that foolish young master submit to me." The soldiers of Eldrich Kaga said, "That's right, today is the last day of the bet between Lord Eldrich and Ren. Surely Lord Eldrich has won, that's right. Now this city wall is about to be burned hot, don't say attacking, even getting close is uncomfortable." He raised his hand confidently and said, "Ren, are you planning to put out the fire and obediently come to surrender?" Ren Edgar confidently said, "Eldrich, and all of you nobles, I give you one last chance, either surrender now or wait for death." He uncomfortably replied, "Ren, is there something wrong with your head? What are you relying on to think we will surrender? Or have you forgotten the bet 3 days ago? Today is the last day of the bet." He continued, "If you can't break through easily in city today before sunset, you must obediently surrender, or are you planning to go back on your word in front of the soldiers on both sides?" The two people next to him contemptuously laughed and said, "That's right, you think of a way to break through the city, you are not planning to go back on your word, right?" Ren Edgar rubbed his head and said, "If that's the case, then don't blame me." He ordered, "Selina, take action." Selina prepared to release her move. "Understood, sir." He ordered, "Mage, quickly come to defend." Selina created a large lightning magic ball. She released her move towards below. That magic shone down on Eldrich Kaga's place. The mages on his side ran out, magic shield. But Selina's magic shone directly on the city gate. Eldrich Kaga and the mages on his side were surprised, "Huh?" Seeing this, he then laughed broadly, laughing to death. "So she missed. I see that this Selina of the Mage Association is also nothing great." He startled, "Huh?" Eldrich Kaga wondered and asked, is it raining?" Ren Edgar shouted loudly, "All troops listen to the order." The soldiers immediately rushed up, "Attack, charge." Selina, having released her move, was tired and had to rely on Leah and Ren Edgar to support her. He said, "Thank you, Ms. Selina." He thought admiringly, "I didn't expect her to really be able to change the weather. If there is a drought for planting in the future, then there is a way," Selina said. "Sir, is your method really effective?" He supported Selina, saying, "Don't worry, the moment the water touches the city wall, Easeline City will no longer exist." Leah said, "Mr. Ren, you quickly look." The soldiers poured all the ice water in. The fire had completely gone out. The stones of the city began to crack slightly. Then the city wall began to crack greatly. Eldrich Kaga fearfully thought, "What's going on? Why is the city wall making this sound? Isn't this something that only great magic can do?" They were fearfully agitated. "What's this? What is this sound? What nonsense are you talking about? How can it be? The city wall seems to be collapsing." He unexpectedly started. The capital began to collapse. Eldrich Kaga shouted loudly, "No." Ren Edgar pointed straight and shouted loudly, "The city wall has broken, all troops attack." He continued, "Those who surrender do not resist, then capture them. If they still stubbornly resist, immediately kill them without mercy. The soldiers ran quickly over. Yes, charge. Selena unexpectedly thought, it really collapsed, this level of destruction. I'm afraid even I can hardly do if I attacked with all my strength. How did Mr. Wren do it after all? He turned to say to her, okay, Ms. Selena, let's go home. The capital of Eldrich Kaga completely collapsed. He was suppressed by the stones. He clutched his heart and sighed. I didn't expect him to have such ability. I underestimated him. I must quickly run away, as long as I can wait until the army of the Alvis Empire arrives from the north, then I will definitely be able to survive. Eldrich Kaga startled and said, You are? He looked up to see his subordinates in front of him. His subordinate said, Mr. Eldrich, where are you planning to go? Mr. Eldrich, we don't want to die yet, so we can only let you suffer injustice. Surely you are planning to run away. Selena curiously approached. What is the principle of thermal expansion? The test tubes appeared for easy visualization. Thermal expansion is a property that objects when heated will expand, when cold will contract. This principle is based on the law of the state of motion of the particles inside the object, such as atoms or molecules, changing according to temperature, 30 degrees Celsius, 0 degrees Celsius, 100 degrees Celsius. When the temperature increases, the amplitude of vibration of the particles increases, causing the object to expand, and when the temperature decreases, the amplitude of vibration of the particles decreases, causing the object to contract. Ren Edgar turned to look at her. The remaining part. Wait for us to finish solving that idiot Eldrich. I will explain it to you later. The fortress in front had collapsed. The bricks on the ground all fell out. He rode his horse to see the situation behind were soldiers. A voice rang out, Mr. Wren. His face was cold, observing. That person was lying on the ground where the wall had broken down, gasping, Help! But Wren wasn't easily deceived by them and saw through their thoughts. You are performing a bitter trick with me? As if seeing his plan had been exposed, he looked up, his face showing a pitiful expression. Mr. Wren. He smiled slightly, his eyes narrowed, looking at them acting. Around Wren now was a cold gloom. They now began to be frightened, standing up straight, their whole body trembling, trying to explain. Mr. Wren, if you do this, then no one will dare to be loyal to you for long in the future. This is a cruel policy. He only smiled, but his eyes were sharp, holding something in his hand, replying, You are wrong. People will not be loyal to anyone. People are only loyal to interests. You have lived for so long and still don't understand this principle. How foolish. Wren sat on his horse looking at them and then ordered his subordinates, Capture these idiots. The soldiers advanced and obeyed the order. Yes. The screams in the town resounded. Run quickly. Eldrich Kaga's face was horrified and terrified, quickly going to inform the guy. He has really broken through the walls. Ravencro Eldwin couldn't help but be startled. His expression was both surprised and uncomfortable. What? How did he do it? He was now also frightened, his face pale. Recalling that time, it seemed that he had burned the city walls for several days, then splashed water on them, and then the city walls collapsed. Ravencro couldn't believe Eldrich's words, roaring angrily. What nonsense are you talking about? His whole body burst into intense flames, clutching his fist tightly. How can there be such a simple way to attack a city? He, seeing the fire of anger of the guy, was a little trembling, trying to explain. But, Ravencro still talked non-stop, doubting. There is absolutely no way in the world that there can be such a simple way to attack a city. Surely he used some powerful magic. Unexpectedly, Eldrich couldn't stand it any more, quickly kneeling down, hugging his leg, painfully begging, Whatever it is, let's run quickly. Later Wren leads troops here. We have wings also. Before he could finish speaking, a scroll appeared from somewhere. The warm sunlight shone into the room. Behind Wren, putting his hand in his pocket, indifferently walking and sighing. Hearing the sound, the two people in the room couldn't help but be surprised, and looked out. In Wren's hand he was holding the scroll. He stood there calmly looking at them. Where are the two of you planning to go? He, although was frightened, but still turned back and aggressively questioned, regardless of Ravencro standing silently behind. You? How did you get here so quickly? The light from outside shone on Wren's figure inside. He kindly explained to them, Isn't it thanks to you abandoning the city walls, planning to run away? Wren showed a cold smile. The soldiers following you, before seeing you run away, all successively lowered their weapons, no longer resisting, so on the way I came here I was completely unhindered. Then he turned to pursue and question Ravencro, who was standing stunned there. You are the one standing behind Eldrich, right? You wear a mask because you are ugly or have a scar on your face? Ravencro didn't worry at all, even taunted. Ren Edgar, you can't be smug for a few days. The Alvis Empire's army is already on the way. His face was dark, his voice angry. Originally, if you didn't destroy the walls of Iselin City, you could still live for a few more days. But now the walls of Iselin City have been destroyed by you. When the army of the Alvis Empire comes, we will definitely reclaim all the humiliation of today. Not being able to wait any longer, Ravencrow began to take action to scroll his stomach out. He was also afraid, used his tricks. Before the actions of Ren he didn't care, calmly directed, Leah, stop him. He suddenly became fearful. Something suddenly flew past Ren's face, causing his mask to also break into pieces. The knife just grazed past and stuck straight into the wall behind. The pieces of mask fell right down next to Ren's feet. His face was also revealed after the disguise, his face revealing anger when seeing his beloved mask had been destroyed. Someone was approaching where he was standing. Both observed Ravencrow. Leah was a little surprised after seeing his appearance, so it was him. Suddenly the scroll shone. Ravencrow harshly quickly raised his hand to cover his face. Eldrich, standing behind him, became panicked. Ren's pupils widened, full of horror. Ren Edgar. I will definitely come back. Having instructed, he quickly disappeared, only leaving two people standing there stunned. She turned to say to Ren, sorry, sir, it was my fault for taking action slowly, letting him run away. His eyes were still looking over there, and then calmly replied, it's okay, originally I was also sure they would leave a way out. Ren fell into contemplation. Only not knowing the identity of the target is a rather troublesome matter. They just like that discussed together, sir. I know that man. He couldn't help but be surprised, not believing his ears. Really, is he an acquaintance of yours? Leah's expression calmly recalling the image of the guy. No, not really close. That man's name is Ravencrow Eldwin. He used to be a subordinate of the Grand Duke. Then in the war he betrayed the Grand Duke Ryan of the enemy country. Ren focused, closed his eyes to consider each person he with the Eldwin family. Then could it be that he has a relationship with Adrien, who was executed not long ago? She also agreed with his thoughts. That's right, originally he was the head of the Eldwin family. Because he didn't agree with the ideals of the old man, he took the initiative to leave the Eldwin family, following the Grand Duke Ryan of the enemy country. Ren sighed in his heart, so that's it. Selena suddenly stepped inside. Little young master, the situation in the city has been controlled, but what about the army of the Alvis Empire? She impatiently raised her hand to cover the sunlight shining on her face. Even if all the mages of the Mage Association go to repair the city walls, I'm afraid it's also too late. The thermal expansion magic of the little young master has caused too much damage. He only smiled enjoyably as if he had achieved his goal, turning to look at Selena. About this, you don't need to worry. I will naturally have a way to solve it. All three people proudly stood from above, observing the scenes below. Outwardly she showed calm, but in her heart she uncomfortably thought, surely he wants to reassure the people. Only how to say it so that they don't fall into panic. Suddenly Ren took out a loudspeaker from somewhere and shouted an announcement to everyone below. Hello, hello, can you hear clearly? The sudden sound caused Selena to be startled and covered her ears, while Leah was next to him with an emotionless face. Ren stood on the upper side using the loudspeaker to announce below. I will say it briefly. Below they didn't understand what was about to happen. His expression sternly instructed, the army of the Alvis Empire is advancing towards us. They will arrive in a few days. Can everyone hear clearly? They on the bottom, having heard it, some were unexpectedly shocked, some trembled and were stunned. All gradually became chaotic and lost their composure, discussing noisily. What, the army? Selena, seeing this, panic, turning green, her face unable to believe it. Young master, what are you doing? The public below were still shocked, discussing back and forth. Wasn't the spring war just over? Why are they coming again? Quickly take valuable things and run. But I just had a good life under the command of Mr. Ren. She worriedly whispered with him, Sir, you are too emotional. You can't tell these things to the people. Ren couldn't help but be suspicious. Why? Selena awkwardly defended. The people, when hearing that someone is coming to attack, will instinctively think of relying on the army to protect them. They are not trained in formal military. It is very difficult to keep calm before danger. Ren closed his eyes helplessly, showing a smile. Miss Selena, you have misunderstood something. He spoke, explaining to her. The person who needs to be most calm on the battlefield is the commander. The person who doesn't need to be calm the most is the soldier. Selena was a little flustered and confused. What? Ren indifferently raised the paper with the signature up. then using the loudspeaker to interpret and announce to the people, "This is the declaration of war that the Alvis Empire sent to me. In this it says that all the people of Iselin City are cowardly and foolish people who dare not protect their homeland, telling me to abandon you and run away." Everyone seeing this couldn't help but be angry, heatedly fighting. "What? That bastard actually dares to say we are like that. Damn it, those bastards come to rob our food every year. This year I am not running anymore. I will risk my life with them." Ren didn't care about those complaints, continuing to use the loudspeaker to announce, "It seems that the Alvis Empire completely doesn't understand you. You are not cowardly and foolish people. Right?" The public at this time didn't hesitate at all, unanimously resolutely affirmed, "That's right. I will risk my life with them." They successively expressed their opinions. No one objected. "That's right. 1 for 1 not losing, 1 for 2 a big profit." Ren was very satisfied before this reaction, seriously replied, "Very good. If everyone has the courage to fight, I, Ren Edgar, swear to lead you to drive the army of the Alvis Empire out of our territory." All together excitedly cheered and voted. Scene changed to the residence. Night fell, covering everything. In the room he was sitting quietly pondering, studying the information. Leah, smiling happily, brought the drink in. "Young master, drink a cup of hot tea and rest a little." Renner blankly looked up. He smiled and took the cup, sipping, feeling, "There is no time to rest, Leah. I have to think of a way to solve it before the army of the Alvis Empire arrives at the border fortress. Otherwise the entire Iselin city will be occupied by them." She suddenly became panicked. "Young master, then what you said during the day?" Renner put the still steaming cup of tea down, calmly replied, "That was a lie to stabilize the people of Iselin city. If the people once fall into panic, don't talk about defending the city. Even an orderly evacuation is difficult to carry out. People in a panic can do anything." Leah was a little scared, gently bowed down to look at his face. "Sir, then let me take you away from Iselin city. I can't bear to watch you fall into danger." Renner only smiled lightly and spoke to reassure her, "Don't rush. I have told Malcolm and Selena to lead the children, the elderly and the women in this city to evacuate in an orderly manner. It's not time to give up yet." He picked up the book and narrowed his eyes to observe. Looking at the name printed on it, Renner pondered, "Is this thing a proper thing?" asked Leah to try. "Black-green magic oil." Thinking and doing, he vaguely pointed to the book in his hand, asking her, "Leah, do you know black-green magic oil? What is this?" She looked difficult, trying to remember. "I remember it is a type that can be burned. It seems to be some material used in the rituals of witches. The colors of crude oil are very rich. There is dark red, gold, blue-black, black, reddish-brown, to transparent. The color of crude oil is determined by the content of glue asphalt contained in it. Renner, the more there is, the darker the color." The more he listened to Leah, the more worried Renner became. The type of oil that can be burned. Could it be? He immediately stood up and said to Leah, "Quickly take me to see. There is this thing in the warehouse books." The scene changed to the warehouse in the residence. Renner and Leah approached. He then ordered the soldiers who were guarding, "Open the big warehouse door." "Yes." Going inside, Renner sternly continued to direct his subordinates, "Quickly go find the thing called black-green magic oil. There right now." Then turning to kindly instruct the captain, "Remember, absolutely don't use fire to illuminate. If you can't confirm it, then bring it outside. It is probably contained in barrels." "Yes, sir." They successively found treasure chests of gold coins inside the warehouse. "Just as I thought. The tax money of Iselin city over the years had been embezzled by Eldrich." Both stood there observing these things. Renner smiled in satisfaction, pondering, "After passing this crisis, I must immediately use this money to develop industry. As long as I can manufacture a steam engine." The soldiers searched around this place, finally finding it. "Sir, we found it." Renner excitedly smiled and ran quickly over. "I'm coming," causing the dazed soldiers to jump, startled, looking at him. Renner returned to his original state, coldly and motionless, walking forward to open the lid of the barrel. The lid was gradually being opened. Everyone was curious, not knowing what was inside. Then when it was opened, it was filled with oil in each barrel. Renner was excited beyond words, smiling with satisfaction. Iselin city is saved. Change the scene to the camp of the Alvis Empire. The outside was being strictly guarded by the soldiers. Both proceeded, and their faces were all guilt and fear. His eyes became dazed. "Sorry, Lord Castile, we have failed." His voice was full of anger. "I knew the two of you would fail, but I didn't expect you to be so useless." A face annoyed and irritated sitting there questioning, In just 3 short days you lost the city. This is, Grand Duke of the Alvis Empire Castile Valdrin. Eldrich couldn't hide his panic trying to explain. Lord Castile, Ren Edgar used forbidden magic to destroy the city walls. That is the reason we failed, otherwise we would definitely be able to hold until Isolene City. Castile hearing this was a little confused before his words. Forbidden magic. Could it be that Aldalian, to protect his youngest son, even sent a forbidden magic master? Contrary to the tense atmosphere before, at this time Renvenkro was suddenly happy and elated, reassuring him. Lord Castile, don't worry, a forbidden magic master can't continuously use forbidden magic. In a short time, moreover, Isolene City has been destroyed by Ren. It can't be repaired in a short time. Now is the good opportunity for you to attack. His face sitting there solemnly emphasized. No need for you to remind me. This Duke is not an incapable person like you. There is no business for you here. You go back to the Alvis Empire and wait for news. Renvenkro in his heart annoyed, biting his teeth, complaining, Sir, this matter at that time was me and you planned together. What do you mean now? Castile was now extremely angry, his face unsightly, clenching the paper in his hand around full of anger. Meaning, you have been eliminated from the game, Ravenlock Eldwin. He threw the rolled up paper. It flew towards the two people. A hand reached out and picked up the paper from the ground. He looked at the paper, unable to believe, his eyes stunned, only knowing how to widen his eyes blankly. The content on it was written, This war arose, all because of the personal grudges of Ravenlock, leading to soldiers and weapons meeting, the people scattered. The territory stained with blood. This king originally took peace as my aspiration, really did not want to see such a scene of creatures being charred, to show my sincerity in seeking peace. This king has given people the arrest of Ravenlock delivered, to atone for his sins, hoping that this can extinguish your anger, stop the war, hoping that this can end the senseless killing. Return peace to everyone. I hope that, the two places from now on enjoy the blessing of peace, the people are carefree and live in peace, may God bless, peace lasts. Renvenkro, unable to swallow this anger, gritted his teeth and called the name, Cass. His anger now became explosive, violently uncontrollable, shouting loudly, Castile, you villainous people. His impetuosity didn't frighten Castile. He sat there sternly ordering the soldiers, arrest this name and imprison him, wait for the war to end and then deal with him. Yes, hearing the instructions, the soldiers proceeded to seize Renvenkro. In his eyes contained hate. Just like that, Renvenkro was dragged outside by the soldiers. He still persisted in resisting. No, you can't do this, damn it, no. Eldrich, witnessing this scene, couldn't help but tremble in fear, thinking to himself, knowing that earlier I would have run away. Castile leaned on the chair. He seemed to be a little tired, showing a cunning smile, his eyes sharply observing him. Lord Eldrich, you say, how should I deal with you? Eldrich was both terrified and helpless, not knowing what to do, quickly kneeling down, begging, Lord Castile, please spare my life. I know a secret, can help you go even further in the Alvis Empire. Castile found it interesting, narrowing his brows, considering. Scene changed to the hall of the city. Lord Thrand, vast, magnificent ahead. That woman was calmly sitting in the sofa room, reading the newspaper on the sofa. Then someone stepped in. The person sitting there was Prithia Edgar, Ren Edgar's older sister, the lord of the territory Thrand. She spoke, calling, Madam Prithia. Hearing the voice, she was slightly surprised, raising her head. Gwen, holding a piece of paper in her hand, reported to Prithia, a letter from young Master Ren, written by Leah Lochte. She recalled the memories of her childhood with him, showing a happy smile, thinking, how is Ren doing now? If there's time I should come visit his territory. Receiving the letter, Prithia looked at the content inside and was stunned, surprised. Then, turning into anger, she immediately ordered her, Damn it, Gwen, immediately call that bastard Vilas Holt to me. Gwen, hearing the order, respectfully replied, Yes, Madam Prithia. This time he had arrived again, panically kneeling down before her. Vilas Holt was still confused, not understanding what had happened. Great Madam, what happened? Prithia sternly criticized, questioning, Vilas, you are also too bold, you actually dare to plot a rebellion. He couldn't help but be surprised, shocked, quickly defending, Great Madam, how can it be? How can you believe such clumsy lies? Last month we even asked for your help to open a commercial road. We have no reason at all. She angrily threw the letter straight at Vilas. The evidence is clear, yet you still dare to quibble. You look at it yourself. He slowly took out the paper inside, holding it, reading each word written in it. Vilas, shocked, unable to expect it, his face paled, the drops of sweat raced to stream down. What? Prithia imperiously questioned. Do you have anything to say? Villas frantically explained, Great Madam, this is the personal stupid action of that idiot Caesar. It has absolutely nothing to do with the Hulk family. He suddenly, as if remembering something, recounted to Prithia, That's right. Last month I even wrote a letter to that idiot Caesar. In the letter I told him to listen to Mr. Wren, please investigate clearly. She leaned back in her chair, seriously observing him, thinking, looking at his behavior and reaction, it doesn't seem fake. Could it really be Caesar's thinking alone? Now Villas couldn't help but tremble, anxiously begging, Great Madam, please give the Hulk family a chance. We will prove our loyalty. Prithia didn't care, indifferently looking at him. What opportunity? Villas fearfully then recalling his daughter's negotiation with her. I will let my only daughter lead the army to help Mr. Wren resist the army of the Alvis Empire. Prithia dignifiedly crossed her arms and considered, Rosalyn, she has only just come of age, and her course at the Knight Academy hasn't finished yet. If something unexpected happens, your family will no longer have a successor. In the room there were only 3 people. He was still kneeling down, guaranteeing her, Please rest assured, our Hulk family is willing to offer everything for the Great Madam. Villas couldn't help but be grateful, thanking Prithia, If not for you, we would no longer exist. Please give us a chance to prove our loyalty. Prithia turned to order her, Gwen, send someone to monitor Rosalyn. She imperiously instructed, If she has any treacherous actions, immediately kill her on the spot. The warm sunlight shone down on the residence buildings transferred to Isolene City. The blue sky with white clouds where below were the large undulating high cliffs. They stood there secretly admiring this magnificent scene, a little surprised. This is Isolene City? Eldrich, standing next to him, constantly said sweet words to please him. That's right, Sir Castile. As long as you break through this place, Isolene City will belong to you. Suddenly he considered something. Sir Castile, it seems that Wren has used emergency magic to repair the city walls. The city walls were worse than they are now. It seems that he also dug a moat to protect the city. Castile then laughed loudly, rejoicing excitedly. It seems that this Wren is an idiot, actually wasting the precious magic power of the mages to repair the city walls. Eldrich slowly approached and whispered in his ear, Sir, they have repaired the city walls. Wouldn't our attack be more difficult? Why are you still so happy? Castile quietly observed the area surrounding this place. If it were terrain that was easy to defend and difficult to attack, his building the city walls would have some effect. But around here is a plain. In the middle it is only separated by a river. It is impossible to prevent a sudden attack by the army. Thinking again about his defense battle plan, if the mages still had magic power, they could prevent our army from a sudden attack. If all the magic power of the mages is wasted on building the city walls, when attacking the city, the mages will not be able to exert their due effect because they have no magic power. Eldrich wholeheartedly praised him. So that's it, Sir Castile, you are indeed wiser than others. A soldier approached to report, Sir Castile, if we want to occupy Isolene City, we don't need to strongly attack this fortress, we can send troops to surround it. Then we will go straight to Isolene City, isolating this fortress. He heard this and in his heart was uncomfortable without stopping, angrily looking at the name and scolding. What do you mean? Do you think this duke can't take down this fortress? Seeing this, that soldier became scared, quickly kneeling down begging for forgiveness. Sir Castile, you have misunderstood. This humble one felt that doing so could reduce our casualties. After all, it is a siege battle. Castile's sharp eyes glanced at him, warning. Fighting, what battle is there that doesn't have dead people? Moreover, a portion of the army we brought this time are all new recruits. It is just right to use this city to train them. Yes, he flew over to examine the situation, conveniently calling that guy. You come with me. We will go to show off to that little young master on the other side first. Perhaps when he sees this duke, he will surrender immediately. Yes, Sir Castile. The scenery changed to Wren room. He was listlessly sitting there, pondering, studying the information. The screen showed the notification. Cultivating 5 characters with high attributes, 0, 5, in progress. Wren helplessly closed his eyes and sighed. I completely have no time to go find people. This mission has been stuck for half a month. I must quickly think of a way. Leah calmly walked in, bringing news. Sir, Grand Duke Castile of the Alvis Empire leading the mages is outside the city wanting to see you. Both he and she proceeded outside. Mr. Wren. Castile and his subordinate appeared. From above he spoke, reminding the one standing before the city, Wren Edgar, this duke is now giving you an opportunity. Wren was vague because of the soldiers around. Is this idiot really the Grand Duke Castile? They then laughed happily, causing him to spray glue, not understanding what was happening. Leah broke the atmosphere, explaining to Ren, "That's right, Sir Ren, this idiot is Grand Duke Castile." Castile exploded in anger, clutching his hands tightly. "Damn it, dare to despise me like this. Even your father wouldn't dare to despise me like this when he met me." He stood there calmly looking up. "Grand Duke Castile, what exactly did you come here for?" He roared, full of anger, warning, "This duke came here is to give you an opportunity to beg for forgiveness. As long as you obediently surrender immediately, this duke will not let this place flow with blood." He was not afraid before that threat, showing a provocative smile. "Grand Duke Castile, I also give you an opportunity." Seriously threatening, "If you don't want to lose your life here, then immediately lead your troops and get out of your territory." On this side the soldiers sat down to rest, discussing together. Running for 3 days and nights finally arrived. Almost died of exhaustion. That's right. Which bastard told me that being a soldier is not tiring? One of them excitedly recounted. "Guess what I just saw." "Saw what? Don't be secretive, speak quickly." He laughed enjoyably, his face enjoying. "I saw them killing sheep. Tonight we can eat a delicious meal." They couldn't help but excitedly rejoice. "Damn it, really, running for 3 days and 3 nights we finally get to eat a delicious meal." A soldier standing out before the city began to call out. They couldn't hide the surprise on their faces. Attack the city?" They, while excited and nervous, progressed. Sir, we have been running for 3 days and 3 nights already. Now we don't have any strength left. We also didn't get a full meal before the battle." The captain angrily, warning, "Stop talking nonsense. As a soldier it is enough to obey orders. Immediately prepare to attack the city." The soldiers hearing this were upset, crying miserably, "Yes." All of Castile's soldiers with one heart worked together, and came to the city, enthusiastically shouting, "Kill!" The general, a little worried, proceeded to ask him, "Mr. Ren, when will we fire the arrows?" Ren blankly looked at Castile's soldiers struggling to go down to the other side of the river. He turned to look at him. "Among you has anyone ever fought with the army of the Alvis Empire?" The general remembered something and then replied, "Sir, this humble one has had the good fortune to fight with the army of the Alvis Empire." Observing the soldiers below, who were panting, green-faced people on the shore and people in the water, and suspiciously, "Their army, why does it look like they haven't eaten anything? Or do the people of the Alvis Empire naturally have such a physique?" He was standing on top of the city and then attentively evaluated them. "Sir, according to this humble one's experience, these are probably new recruits. Moreover, it seems that they are hungry." Ren awkwardly scratched his head. "Hungry? They don't give the people attacking the city to eat." The general turned to consider and spoke. "Sir, there are 2 speculations. The first is their food is probably not much, so the soldiers are not getting a full meal." Suddenly his eyes showed jealousy, narrowing his brows. "The second is..." He couldn't wait any longer, urging the general, "Continue speaking." Grand Duke Castile probably regarded these people as cannon fodder. Let them sacrifice themselves to consume our resources to defend the city, such as arrow names and the like. Ren stunned and was terrified. "What?" Suddenly angrily cursing, "He does it like that and their king doesn't care. Aren't those people the people of the Alvis Empire?" The general seemed to be very fond of him. His eyes were deep. "Sir Ren, those lords who love the people like their own children, like you and Grand Duke Aldalian, can be said to be very rare. Most are people like Grand Duke Castile." Ren was also a little surprised, thinking about Castile, taking the lives of others as cannon fodder. "Then don't blame me for taking action cruelly." He gave an opinion, asking him, "Sir, are arrows probably enough to shoot these new recruits dead? When do you plan to fire the arrows?" Ren only calmly showed a smile. He enjoyably firmly, "We are not firing arrows." The general next to him didn't understand Ren's plan. His army was still trying their best to struggle to the city. Whoever had reached the shore smiled with satisfaction. Whoever was underwater was struggling to thrash upward. The 2 people stood emotionlessly observing. He agitatedly ordered, "Selena, tell all the mages to use frost magic." "Yes." She proceeded to the front, causing Castile's soldiers who witnessed it to stand there stunned. Selena began to gather strength. Primary magic, extreme cold ice seal. The sky suddenly became gloomy. The dark clouds came rushing over. They, seeing this, were a little surprised. Castile couldn't help but hide his excitement, laughing loudly. "This name Ren is indeed an idiot." The captain next to him, not understanding, turned to ask him, "Sir, why do you say that?" Castile didn't hide it but explained, "I sent new recruits to pretend to attack, originally planning to consume his arrows. But this idiot, in order to keep the arrow names actually wasted the magic power of the mages to resist those new recruits. Use those magics to put in the city. When their mages run out of magic power, we will let the mages and the cavalry attack the city together. Wouldn't the entire Iselin city be easily obtained? The soldiers enthusiastically praised. Sir Castile is so clever, worthy of being Sir Castile, actually able to think of such a clever plan. He, hearing those sweet words, was even more self-satisfied. Then began to imagine the scene of him kneeling down at his feet. Ren Edgar, you are about to become a prisoner at my feet. The soldiers on this side were inevitably panicking before the appearance of the magics. Staring up in surprise, what's going on? They frantically ran around shouting, run quickly, the enemy has cast magic, help, I haven't married a wife yet, I don't want to die, causing the other person to stiffen, not understanding what was happening. Some ran, some hugged the pillar, fearfully lamenting, please, don't hit me. They surprised and observed, what's going on, didn't they say there was magic? They fearfully hid behind a large tree to the point that the captain had to go find them, scolding, what are you staring blankly for? Immediately take up your weapons and begin to attack. Both Selena and Ren stood outside observing them. Charge. She dazedly turned around. Mr. Ren, can this lowest level frost magic really retreat the enemy? Selena pondered silently. Or we can cast a little more lightning magic. He then coldly interrupted, no need. Castile's army, cold and stiff, tried their best to stand up amidst the extreme cold frost seal that she had created, from ancient times until now, the thing that causes people to lose their will to fight. There are only two things which are hunger and cold. Ren smiled, looking down below. The soldiers of the Alvis Empire don't say attacking the city, they can't even stand up straight. Some, because they were too cold, couldn't bear it anymore, sat hugging their bodies, crying miserably, it's too cold, I'm about to freeze to death, why is it so cold? I'm not fighting anymore, I want to go home, I want to go home. The captain began to roar, scolding, what are you useless things doing? He, riding his horse proudly in the middle of the blizzard, ordered the soldiers, immediately attack the city for me, take up your weapons, fight. They tremblingly progressed and pleaded in front of him, Captain, it's cold, our hands are all frozen stiff, we can't hold anything, that's right, we just talk and feel cold. We don't have any strength, Captain, let's withdraw, it's too cold. He turned to tell the person next to him, you immediately report the situation here to Mr. Castile, the remaining people continue to attack for me, yes. Before the camp the large voice rang out, report. Inside someone knelt down to report, Sir Castile, news from the vanguard team, let him in and speak, yes. He staggered, walking in, Sir Castile. Then suddenly turning to look around the soldiers who were sitting there eating and drinking deliciously, and couldn't help but angrily gritted his teeth, thinking to himself, what are we relying on out there enduring hunger and cold, and you are here enjoying? In his heart, although upset, he still turned to report to him, Sir, the vanguard attack is unfavorable, Ren used frost magic to block our army from attacking. The soldiers are hungry and cold, unable to hold their weapons, I hope you will order to temporarily withdraw the troops. Castile angrily slammed the table, scolding, bastard, you useless cowardly things. He sat there enraged, blaming the soldiers for being completely unworthy of being noble soldiers of the Alvis Empire. He hurriedly defended, Sir, we are not afraid of death, but really because we haven't eaten, so we don't have strength. Castile stood up, pointing straight at his face. Execute this useless thing who dares to disobey my orders. Around him was a gloom enveloping, raging, wanting to go to battle. I will personally lead the team to attack. The captain then advised him, Sir, you don't need to risk yourself. We are willing to sacrifice our lives for you. Having achieved his purpose, Castile showed a happy smile. I am not doubting everyone's loyalty. I only want to let the generals understand that I, Grand Duke Castile, am what kind of genius. Several people led the way for him. Castile slowly rode his horse to the city. He spoke, raising his voice, commanding, all mages listen to the order, use earth magic to build bridges, so that the cavalry can pass through without being hindered. The mages together gathered their strength to destroy, yes. The sand next to the river gradually rose, creating a road. Then pierced through to the other side of the city. The mages had created sand bridges across the river. Castile roared, full of determination, all troops charge. Whoever captures Ren Edgar alive will be greatly rewarded by me. All his troops at the same time rushed over, charge. Soldiers riding horses holding weapons fiercely progressed, kill. A person proceeded to report to him, you Mr. Ren, it seems that the Alvis Empire is preparing to attack officially. Ren slightly turned back to direct, Leah, order to pour those things into the moat. His eyes firmly instructed, at the same time block all the passageways on both sides of the moat. She calmly obeyed, yes. On this side all of Ren's soldiers began to take action, pouring the oil inside the tubes. The soldiers on Castile's side were also trying their best to ride their horses holding axes rushing towards Ren's soldiers. The oil poured inside the tube began to flow out of the river. Becoming increasingly spread out, his soldiers flew over together, kill, charge. Rosalyn Hulk led the army galloping. She frowned, her face worried, faster, absolutely can't let Mr. Ren be in trouble. She remembered the words her father had instructed before leaving, Rosalyn, the rise and fall of the Hulk family is entrusted to you, rest assured father, I will definitely ensure that Mr. Ren is unharmed. The soldier behind her hurriedly advised, Great madam, please rest for a while, we have been riding continuously for 3 days already, even if you can endure it, the horses can't endure it. She frowned, her face annoyed, at this speed, how much longer can we arrive at Iselin City? The soldier hurriedly said, currently it is only 1 day away from Iselin City. The horses flew fast, leaving behind a foggy road. Project the map in front of me. I want to see the next route of march. Yes, please look, great madam. She looked at the map thinking, the border fortress of Iselin City must have been occupied by the Alvis Empire. Now Mr. Ren must be holding out in Iselin City. I heard my father say, a few days ago he used a trick that made the food of Iselin City abundant, so. She quickly pulled the reins. The horse was forced to stop, suddenly raising its 2 front hooves, braking sharply. She sternly shouted, Knox, I know you are monitoring me. I need you to come out to discuss countermeasures. The soldiers suspiciously looked at this scene. Huh? Suddenly from space a crack appeared. A purple light radiated from inside the crack. A hand reached out. A man holding a scythe stepped out from space like a god of death. His face cold, looking at her. Knox heard. A soldier seeing this hurriedly shouted, Protect great madam. Who are you? Her face darkened. She raised her hand to stop him. She suspiciously looked at the man. You are Noxord? His face impatient. Say what you have to say quickly. She seriously looked at him, expressing her thoughts. I want to send a team of troops here to cut off the food supply of the army of the Alvis Empire, then taking advantage of the situation to ambush and wipe out the army of the Alvis Empire under Iselin City. I know I was nurtured by great Madame Prithias sent to monitor you, but now I need you to lend a hand. He coldly looked at her. The task I received is that once you have actions that are unfavorable to Mr. Ren, I will take action to kill you. I have not received orders to help you. She smiled slightly, her face confidently looking at him. I know, but both of us don't want that day to encounter any unexpected things, right? He angrily turned his head away, his face full of reluctance. What do you want me to do? She looked at the map and then said her thoughts. I will lead troops to go around Iselin City, attacking straight at the rear of the army of the Alvis Empire. She decided to choose to create a flood using water. You use magic to block the upper reaches of the moat of the border fortress. Wait until my mages send a signal, then you immediately discharge the water of the upper reaches. She smiled cruelly. I want to submerge all the dogs of the army of the Alvis Empire here. A voice rang out in the elf tribe palace. Valshara, I hope we can reach consensus, cooperate together, and make a fortune together. A slender, beautiful hand of a girl was holding a letter. The queen of the elf tribe seriously looked at everyone. Speak, what do you think? Salian frowned, her face worried. Queen, your majesty, humans are too greedy and cunning, and they don't keep their word. I think it's best not to have any contact with humans. An elder said, although it is said that, but if we rely solely on our strength, then there is no way to feed all the people of the elf tribe. He was a little worried. Our annual winter food all needs to be bought from humans. If we refuse, then I'm afraid it won't be good. The queen seriously looked at the saintess. Eldrich, you also speak, among the people present. Only you have met the new city lord of Iselin City. Yes, yes. She was a little nervous, looking at everyone. I feel that the new city lord is a petty and cunning person. That's not right, is an extremely intelligent person. She frowned, remembering Ren Edgar's confident face. I don't know how he did it, but I did as he said. Our winter food this year is not only very full but also saved a lot of money. He was surprised and turned his head to look at her. Oh, in the human race there is such an interesting person. Salian didn't think it was right saying, intelligent. I don't think so. She annoyed looked at the queen. A few days ago the scouts of the tribe discovered that they were fighting again. I really don't understand the meaning of them fighting every year in autumn. She angrily, her voice sarcastic. Eldrich, The prerequisite for us to be able to trade is that your handsome city lord can survive this war, otherwise there is nothing to discuss. The Saintess smiled awkwardly looking at her. Aye, that matter. The Queen stopped the dispute between the two people. Okay, Eldrich, calm down, let me say my decision. The Queen smiled slightly, making a bold decision. What Salient said is indeed reasonable. If the new city lord of Iselin dies, then all transactions are useless. So I decided to personally go to the battlefield to see. Large shouts resounded above the Iselin city walls. Fire arrows, quickly fire arrows, absolutely can't let them climb the city walls, quickly. Ren Edgar and Selena, their faces attentively looking at the battlefield. Fire arrows. She turned her head to look at him, her face hurried. Sir, isn't it time now? He frowned, remembering the face of that Grand Duke Castile. Not in a hurry. We must wait for Castile to personally lead his troops to charge in. He frowned, his eyes full of determination. This move of ours can only be used once. We absolutely cannot let Castile escape. She frowned, looking a little angry. My lord, now. She was shocked to find that some enemy soldiers had already climbed the city walls. Castile was startled by this scene. The attendant soldier smiled happily. We've climbed onto the city walls. He smiled smugly. Success. He raised his hand and shouted, Charge! Capture Ren Edgar alive. The vanguard knights began to rush across the earthen bridges. Kill! Capture Ren Edgar alive. Ren Edgar was startled by this scene. Castile has crossed the bridge. He hurriedly raised his hand and ordered, Selena, take action. The soldiers on the city walls began to be vigilant, shouts ringing out. Kill! Die! A soldier stood in front of him, his face tense. Kill them quickly! Absolutely do not let them approach Lord Ren. They bravely blocked the enemies on the wall. Ren Edgar hurriedly shouted, Selena! He raised his hand, trying to amplify his voice. Fire the fireball into the moat, quickly! Between her two palms, a red ball of light suddenly appeared, blazing with flames. All right, low-level magic. Fireball! She raised her hand and launched the fireball towards the moat below. Countless flames burst out from the fireball and plunged downwards. Castile was startled and warned, Magicians, be vigilant. The enemy is using fireball magic. Amidst the falling rain of fire, his voice rang out, this is their last counterattack. You must hold it for me. Blue light from the magician's palms formed a shield, protecting Castile and his army. The flames rained down on the shield. The attendant soldier anxiously looked at the shield in the sky. Lord Castile, we are consuming the magician's magic power like this. What if the enemy has other schemes? He laughed heartily. Schemes? What schemes could they possibly have? He narrowed his eyes, recalling the cold wind attack from before. All of their magician's magic power was used on that frost wind attack. He smiled smugly. These few fireballs are probably the last bit of magic power their magicians can squeeze out, right? He calmly watched the army continuing to advance. As long as we can defend against the opponent's magician's last counterattack, victory will be ours. The flames rushed towards the moat. The flames touched the moat. Castile stared blankly as the flames fizzled out in the moat. He smiled, his expression becoming even more certain of victory. I told you, their magicians are at their wits' end. They even missed with the lowest level fireball. The attendant soldiers began to flatter him obsequiously. Lord Castile is indeed a military genius. That's right. When Lord Castile occupies Iselin City, he will definitely make others in the Empire. Kowtow! He smiled smugly. Duke Bang is known as one of the two pillars of the Empire. How can he compare to the children opposite us? Suddenly, a loud explosion rang out in front of the city gate. He turned his head in horror, looking at the sea of fire behind him. What? Everyone looked in horror, as the moat behind them turned into a sea of fire. How is this possible? What's going on? What exactly is that? Castile turned pale, his expression tense. What's going on? Why is this forbidden-level magic appearing in the moat? He stared blankly at the sea of fire in front of him, the terrified screams of the soldiers ringing in his ears. What's going on? Why is it burning? Help! Fire! He was terrified, sweat pouring down his body. How could this be? I've mobilized all the troops. If the soldiers are all surrounded by this sea of fire, they will be burned to ashes. He turned his head, his eyes towards the city walls, his expression frightened. That person is not human. He looked up at a person standing on the wall in the distance. He looked at Ren Edgar, his entire body enveloped in darkness. It's a demon! His whole body trembled in waves, his expression terrified. He wants to burn 100,000 people alive? The attendant soldier hurriedly knelt down and looked at him. Lord Castile, quickly order a retreat. Yes, retreat. Quick, retreat. He hurriedly shouted, magicians, put out the fire. Put out the fire. The magicians looked at him listlessly. My lord, we no longer have any magic power. The last bit of magic power was used for the magic shield just now. He was startled and looked at them. What? Selena looked at the sea of fire in front of her with a frightened expression. Power of that magnitude must belong to the forbidden level magic, right? She looked at this scene in disbelief. He, with just a few barrels of oil, actually created a forbidden spell, and without using any magic power. He stood on the city wall, coldly watching the sea of fire slowly swallowing the sounds below. Help! Run! He scratched his head, looking dejected. In order to prevent my people from ending up like this, I must quickly develop industry. He wearily walked away. Selena, I'll leave the rest to you. Yes, my lord. She frowned and ordered, all magicians, listen to the order. Immediately repel all the Alvis Empire's soldiers. Yes. The fire blazed bigger and bigger. The attendant soldiers supported Castile, avoiding the areas with large fires. Lord Castile, this way. He ran while panting heavily. Inside Duke Castile's camp. He finally managed to return to the camp, only to find it deserted. Where have all the soldiers responsible for guarding gone? He was startled and raised his head to look at the sky, discovering a blue light streaking down from the sky towards him. A giant sword fell right where he had been standing. He fell backwards. The small feet of a girl appeared in his sight. His whole body trembled, looking at her. You, who are you? She looked him up and down. Judging from your attire, you must be a noble of the Alvis Empire. Her expression was like a storm about to break. I've been looking for you for a long time. He trembled as he looked at her. You, what do you want to do? She held a whip and walked towards him. Tell me, where is your main force? She twirled the whip in her hand. Is Lord Ren safe? She angrily lashed the whip at him. Speak. Tell me. He was terrified, covering his head with both hands, his body trembling. I'll talk. I'll talk. Our main force was all burned to death by Ren using forbidden magic. He looked at her pitifully. I am Duke Castile. You can't hit my face anymore. She shouted angrily, damn it. She looked at him with an angry expression. You dare tell such a clumsy lie to deceive me? Do you think I'm a fool? She narrowed her eyes, her expression sinister. Drag him down and beat him hard for me. Until he tells the truth. Inside the tent. She looked anxiously at the map on the table. How is it going? The attendant soldier reported irritably, young lady, that pig is really stubborn. He insists on claiming he's Duke Castile, and he insists that his 100,000-strong army was burned to death by Lord Ren using fire-type forbidden magic at the border fortress of Iselin City. She slammed her fist hard on the table and cursed angrily. Damn it, she said sternly, continue to beat him hard for me. Beat him until he tells the truth. In addition, arrange for the entire army to rest in place. At dusk, charge into the border fortress and relieve Lord Ren. The soldier looked at her seriously, understood. She walked out of the tent, thinking as she walked. According to that guy, the moat of the border fortress has earthen bridges that they left behind when attacking the city. In that case, the cavalry will be able to cross easily. But if we want to break through the fortress, we must lure them out of the fortress first, and then cooperate with the magicians that young Lady Prithia sent. She worriedly considered another possibility. What if I directly bypass the border fortress and head straight to Iselin City? She wandered closer to a soldier. She was startled and hurriedly shouted loudly, Everyone, enemy attack! 2 nearby soldiers immediately rushed to block in front of her, carrying 2 thick buckler shields. Young lady, be careful. Come out. Our entire army is on alert. You no longer have a chance to attack. Footsteps rang out. The elf saintess was also present. The elder and Salian also arrived. She looked at them suspiciously. Who are these people? The elf queen looked at this scene with some tension. She widened her eyes and looked at them. Elves. Could it be that the elves have colluded with the Alvis Empire? She frowned and accused them. Despicable elves. You actually dare to collude with the Alvis Empire to plot against Lord Wren. Salian looked at her angrily and shouted, preposterous. It was clearly the person named Wren that you mentioned who took the initiative to seek an audience with our elf queen. Now you're falsely accusing our elves. She smiled calmly. You think I'll believe such a clumsy lie? I think you're basically accomplices of the Alvis Empire. A conflict broke out between the two sides. You dare to insult the nobility of our elves. Elf archers, prepare. Knight squad, raise your shields. Be careful of the elf arrows. A purple light emanated from the queen's palm. The light enveloped both groups of people. The queen calmly stopped the fight, explaining, calm down, young lady. The reason I'm here is because a young man named Wren Edgar wrote a letter wanting to discuss trade needs with me. She remembered Wren Edgar. If you are his allies, then we don't need to fight. If you are his enemies, then we will immediately turn back, wait for you to finish fighting, and then talk, okay? She said seriously, what evidence do you have to prove what you said? She calmly called the saintess, Eldria, bring out the letter. Yes. The saintess hurriedly handed the letter to her. Here, this is the letter that Lord Wren personally wrote to us. She frowned, looking at the family crest stamped in one corner of the letter. This is really Lord Wren's letter. The family crest seal has special magic, no one can forge it. She still didn't completely trust them. Before I meet Lord Wren, I will temporarily trust you, but on the way to find him, I will send people to monitor your entire journey. The queen smiled. Very good. Caution is a good thing for both of us. A voice rang out throughout the camp. Everyone, return to your rest. The original plan remains unchanged. Yes. She seriously instructed the soldier beside her, you and a few others follow these elves. If there's any movement, report to me immediately. Yes, young Lady Rosalyn. Salian looked at her queen with suspicion. Your Majesty, they don't trust us at all. Why do you still want to trade with them? She said calmly, if they trusted us, then they wouldn't be humans anymore. She frowned, looking a little worried. I hope that person named Wren doesn't disappoint me. The future where the elves are destroyed must be changed. They continued to gallop in the bright sunset of the sky. Young lady, scout report. The soldier behind her hurriedly said the flag on the border fortress is not the flag of the Alvis Empire. It's still the flag of the Edgar family. She remembered Castile's swollen face. What? Could it be that everything that guy said was true? She rushed forward quickly. There's no more time to hesitate. No matter what happens, I must get to his side immediately. She frowned and ordered, immediately wave the flags. Even if the soldiers in the border fortress are Lord Wren's, they must know that Lord Wren's reinforcements have arrived. She instructed with a voice full of determination, everyone, after crossing the earthen bridge, don't stop. Immediately rush towards Iselin City. No matter what the cost. We must reach Iselin City tonight. Wren Edgar and Leah walked out of the city gate. He looked darkly at the countless corpses on the ground. He clenched his fist, his hand trembling in waves. He was dejected, looking listless. Such a good source of labor. They could have been exploited to death in the factory. She looked at him worriedly. Lord Wren. She looked at him with compassion. He is indeed a kind person. He even feels sorry for the deaths of these invaders. Leah worriedly comforted him, young master, you don't need to be sad for these invaders. They deserved it. He hurriedly said, Leah, you've misunderstood. I'm sad because... A man hurriedly stepped forward to report, my lord, there's a cavalry unit advancing from the direction of the Alvis Empire. He looked surprised as he remembered the flag of that army. The flag they're waving looks like the second young lady's flag. Huh! Inside a luxurious mansion. Wren Edgar, with one hand in his pocket and an elegant demeanor, concluded his argument. Iselin City will become the jewel of this continent in the future. He pointed to the model city that he would renovate. Your Majesty, as long as you agree to invest now, in the future you will not only be the builder of this legendary city, but also the creator of this legendary city. After listening, the Queen praised, well, those business plans you just mentioned are indeed a bit interesting. she said calmly, but these things mean nothing to my elf clan. I'm used to living in harmony with nature. Without the things you mentioned, our lives are still very good. He raised a finger and shook it, looking disapproving. No, 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 Your Majesty, if you think like that, then the road has become too narrow. He smiled confidently. Needs never exist naturally, but are always created. The Queen frowned, looking a little impatient. Some needs of you humans, in the eyes of our elves, are simply illusory things. She expressed her concerns. Lord Wren, please forgive me for speaking bluntly. Many human empires have gone to ruin in desire. He looked at her seriously. You're not wrong. The ending of human empires is indeed destroyed in desire, but desire is also the driving force behind the progress of the world. Humans wanted to fly into the sky, so they invented airplanes. Humans wanted to dive to the bottom of the water, so they invented submarines. Humans wanted to explore deeper and into the universe, so they invented spaceships. He enthusiastically described to her the feeling of standing on top of life. One day, when you stand on the highest floor of the city center building and look down at all beings, I dare to guarantee, you will feel a kind of unprecedented sense of satisfaction. She looked at him blankly, her expression confused. What is this person saying? I don't understand anything. What are airplanes and submarines? She said calmly, Your confidence is a rare thing among the humans I've met, but don't forget, we elves are different from you humans. For thousands of years, we have never been enslaved by desire. Is it possible to change just because of things like the commercial district you mentioned? He looked at her emphatically. Of course. As long as you agree to invest, you will see a different future. She widened her eyes and looked at him in surprise. The future? She remembered the future she had deduced when using the magic orb. The future of the elves? She remembered the images that appeared in the magic orb, the elves being killed by humans. Cooperating with this human, can I avoid the future I saw? She said hesitantly, Your ability to argue is indeed very persuasive, but these reasons alone are not enough. Moreover, I need some time to discuss with my people. He smiled and looked at her. No problem. I'm always ready to welcome your investment. He smiled and called out, Leah, bring the things here. He held it and brought it in front of her. She opened the invitation card and asked him in surprise, This is? While she was looking at the invitation card, his voice rang out. This is an invitation to attend the opening ceremony of the Easeline City Dam, VIP seats. I sincerely invite you to witness the first industrial step of Easeline City. Rosalyn Hulk and the entire army galloped across the plains. Young lady, latest news. The soldier announced, Lord Wren is not injured. He is currently cleaning up the battlefield below the border fortress. She heard the news in surprise. What? Not injured? How is that possible? Didn't the Alvis Empire bring an army of 100,000 people? She thought seriously, could it be that what he said is true? There really is a forbidden spell magician helping Lord Wren? Forget it, there's no time to worry about these things now. I must get to his side immediately. The army quickly arrived in front of the gate of Easeline City. The horses galloped madly. The city gate appeared right in front of her. She hurriedly pulled the reins. The door opened, and the soldier said respectfully, Please, young lady. In a room with soft light. She walked closer to him. She knelt on one knee, looking worried. Lord Wren, I am the knight Rosalyn Hulk sent by young Lady Prithia to assist you. I was unable to arrive when you needed me. Please punish me. He narrowed his eyes and looked at her. My sister told you to come? She bowed her head and replied, Yes, my lord. He asked in surprise, Then why did you come from the direction of the Alvis Empire? She seriously recounted the events. My lord, we received the order to come to rescue 3 days ago. She seriously recounted her plan. At that time, I guessed that you had abandoned the border fortress and retreated to Easeline City, so I ordered the army to bypass Easeline City and block the retreat of the Alvis Empire. He looked at her in surprise. 3 days? You ran from her territory to here in 3 days? That's hundreds of kilometers. How did you get here? We haven't built railroads yet. She stared blankly at him. My lord, what is a railroad? He hurriedly changed the subject. No, nothing. You've worked hard, stand up first. She thought this was what she should do, not hard at all. My lord, this is what our Hulk family should do. My foolish uncle has caused you trouble. He looked at her in surprise. Huh? Hulk family? You are from the Caesar family? She lowered her head, her expression pleading. Caesar Hulk's granddaughter, Rosalyn Hulk, humbly asked you to give my family a chance. She said with a pitiful expression, You can punish me in any way, I will absolutely not have any resentment. She sat on the chair dejectedly. She bowed her head sadly. Lord Wren has been keeping me here for a day, even though I know that it is difficult to gain his trust, but I can't even meet him. She leaned back in the chair and sighed wearily. Where will my future and the future of my family go? Footsteps rang out. He smiled confidently and walked in. Miss Rosalyn, sorry to have kept you waiting. She was startled and sat up straight. Lord Wren, he said calmly, no need to be so nervous. I came here to discuss something with you. She looked at him seriously, her eyes full of enthusiasm. Yes. It's here. I must make him give my family a chance. He smiled and looked at her. Miss Rosalyn, are you willing to become my person? She blushed and looked at him. He walked closer to her. He smiled and praised, Miss Rosalyn, your judgment on the battlefield has deeply impressed me. He looked at the announcement about her and pondered. Her stats are worth nurturing. He remembered the image of her riding a horse and praised her again. Whether it is the courage to lead the army around to the back or the courage to lead the attack alone, both make me feel that you are an extremely outstanding talent. She looked at him modestly. Thank you for your praise, these are all what your subordinate should do. He smiled and asked again, So then, Miss Rosalyn, are you willing to become my person? She bowed her head and took a breath. I understand, my lord. Her face flushed, and countless pink bubbles suddenly rose in the atmosphere. If you want to use me to compensate for your dissatisfaction, then Miss Rosalyn is willing to dedicate everything to you. Like a bolt of lightning across his ears, he turned pale and looked at her in horror. Wait. There's something wrong with our conversation. Have you misunderstood something? He rubbed his head and looked at her. Especially from compensate, that is a word I have never thought of. She knelt on one knee. She put her hand on her left shoulder, her expression serious. My lord, although my dream is to become a close knight by your side, if you need to use this humble body of mine to compensate for the harm that my uncle has caused you, I will absolutely not have any resentment. He looked at her dejectedly and explained, Stop, Miss Rosalyn, you have misunderstood my meaning. I want you to become my subordinate, with absolutely no other meaning. She looked at him in surprise. My lord, your meaning is… He raised his hand and said with a smile, My meaning is, whether you are willing to join under my command or not, I will not pursue Caesar Holt's crimes against you and your family. He coughed lightly a few times. He frowned and looked at her seriously. Rosalyn Hulk, are you willing to take the identity of a knight to swear allegiance to me? Her face was slightly red, her expression satisfied. Knight, not a toy of Lord Wren, and becoming Lord Wren's knight, this is my lifelong dream, she said respectfully. To be able to become Lord Wren's knight is the greatest honor of this Rosalyn. He sat at the table and wrote a letter. Sister Prithia, the crisis of Iselin City has been resolved. The knight Rosalyn that you sent is an extremely outstanding knight. He handed the letter to Leah. Leah, tomorrow, send this letter to second sister. By the way, send them an invitation to attend the opening ceremony of the dam. Yes, my lord. He looked at Rosalyn's announcement. I must quickly go find talents. Nurturing high attribute character, 1.5 in progress, Rosalyn Hulk. Leah said calmly, My lord, Duke Castile was captured by Rosalyn's knight squad, what should we do with him? He was startled, remembering that he had forgotten this important character. Huh! Oh no, I forgot about him. Where is he? Leah replied, He is currently in the dungeon of Iselin City. The figure of a man was sitting in the dungeon. He stood there, looking at him, his face pale. Duke Castile, we meet again. He was still stubborn. You lowly brat, you're finished. He frowned, looking at him. Duke Castile, what do you mean? You are the prisoner now, aren't you? He narrowed his eyes, looking at him. Didn't your father tell you? He shouted angrily. All forbidden spell mages from all countries are clearly forbidden from participating in any battles of ordinary people. He remembered the sea of fire yesterday, gnashing his teeth. But on the battlefield yesterday, you broke this rule. Soon, all the forbidden spell mages on the continent will come to hunt down your Edgar family. He remembered the most powerful female mage in Iselin City. Forbidden spell mage, are you talking about Lady Selena? He smiled gleefully. Selena is just a high-level mage. I'm talking about the forbidden spell mage who unleashed the power of destruction on the battlefield. He remembered the barrels of oil he had poured into the moat. Forbidden spell mage, are you talking about the explosion caused by those barrels of oil? Duke Castile. If the forbidden spell you are talking about is that explosion, then I can only say that you have misunderstood. Because as long as I want, I can create countless explosions like that. He ran over and grabbed the iron bars, shouting, "Nonsense! Only a forbidden spell mage can create the power of that flame. That world-destroying power is definitely not something a weak young noble like you can do," he said dejectedly. "Forbidden spell mage or the power of destruction are all things of the past." He looked at him with a serious expression. "I came here just to ask you one thing." He narrowed his eyes. "Who is behind you? Or in other words, what are you plotting?" He said in a panic, stuttering, No one is behind us. Our Alvis Empire's warriors conquer the most despicable people of your Caradorial Empire without any reason." He smiled calmly. "Conquer? That's ridiculous. Countless soldiers rode horses to invade our territory. I've seen the records of Iselin City. Every year in the spring, you cross the border to provoke, sparing no expense to occupy our towns and territories. Image of countless weapons lying at the foot of Iselin City, but you never occupy them, you don't even leave a garrison. In the autumn, you immediately withdraw your troops. As if there's some reason that forces you to leave." He calmly looked at him. "Do you think such behavior can hide anything? Duke Castile or your king is either crazy, or your conquest definitely has another purpose." He gnashed his teeth angrily. "That's because we disdain occupying barren lands like yours. What our Alvis Empire needs is to proclaim its power to the whole world." He looked suspicious. "Proclaim power, or are you testing something no one knows about?" He widened his eyes in horror, deliberately hiding it. I don't understand what you're talking about." His voice rang out. "Then you can stay in the dungeon and think about it carefully." He left the dungeon, walking aimlessly, immersed in his own thoughts. Every annual invasion is like a meaningless play. Behind it, there must be some plot that I haven't realized yet. He frowned, thinking, I must develop industry immediately. The feeling of being led by the nose all the time is not good at all. Sister Wren Edgar was sitting at her desk, reading his letter. 10 days later, Thrand, Silver Peach Harbor. She held the letter. Rosalyn Holk, her help was great. He hopes to be able to make her his subordinate. I hope you agree, younger brother Wren Edgar. She said calmly, Gwen, tomorrow tell that idiot Vilas that my brother values his daughter. He can rest assured. Yes, young Lady Prithia. She looked at her subordinate with suspicion. This invitation mentioned something about the opening ceremony of a dam. Do you understand what a dam is? She replied without hesitation. No, this subordinate has shallow knowledge and cannot understand Lord Wren's intelligence. She smiled calmly. If that's the case, then let's go to Wren's territory to play for a few days, and see this dam by the way. Gwen looked at her and replied, Yes, young Lady Prithia. She smiled gently, as if suddenly remembering something. Oh, right. She smiled and looked at her. Go help me find a few girls around Rosalyn's age. I want to see what kind of person my brother likes. The king sat solemnly on the throne, looking at the vassals. The Alvis Empire's royal palace, Duke Castile's capture will definitely shake the morale of the army. The person standing in the first row looked at the king with displeasure. If he reveals the secret, I'm afraid it will bring even greater trouble. Who told him to stubbornly follow his own way? And ended up like this. The king turned red with anger and shouted, Alvis Empire's king, enough! He frowned, glaring at him, his voice hissing through his teeth. At this point, what's the point of investigating responsibility? He looked annoyed. I need a solution, not an argument. Craven suggested, Your Majesty, perhaps we can send someone to Iselin City to try to negotiate peace with them. 2 other people disagreed and shouted loudly, Damn it! How can our Alvis Empire negotiate with that barbaric place? That's right. If we bow our heads to the Caradorial Empire, wouldn't we lose all the face of our empire? Craven put his hand in front of his chest, respectfully looking at the king. But if Castile reveals the Empire's secrets, our years of planning will be reduced to nothing. He said worriedly, Your Majesty, Please make the right judgment. The king thought for a moment, and a dilemma arose. Peace negotiations are also acceptable, but what are your opinions on the person who will go to negotiate? Everyone bowed their heads in thought. This person must not only have a status sufficient to represent the dignity of the Alvis Empire, but also need to have enough courage and wisdom. Craven felt that this matter was not as simple as it seemed on the surface. Your Majesty's words are strange. This simple negotiation only needs to determine the minimum compensation. And there should be no difficulty. He frowned, realizing, could it be that your Majesty is thinking of? The king turned his head to look at him, his expression a little expectant. Craven, judging from your expression, have you thought of a suitable person? Craven leaned slightly. Your Majesty, I would like to recommend someone. He looked at the king with an expressionless face. Miss Velvina, the only daughter of Duke Richard. Everyone rushed out to question Craven. Craven, are you crazy? Miss Velvina's father, Duke Richard, was just thrown into prison for offending your Majesty. The king looked satisfied, the corners of his mouth slightly raised. This person is really smart. He can always think of what I want to do. He smiled and asked Craven, what is the reason you are introducing the daughter of a criminal? He replied seriously, Your Majesty, I recommend Miss Velvina for 3 reasons. First, Miss Velvina is the only daughter of Duke Richard. Her noble status can show our country's sincerity. He remembered the image of the young girl in the dark, with a mysterious air. Second, I heard that although Miss Velvina has just come of age, she has outstanding eloquence and decisive actions. He remembered Duke Richard, who was chained in prison. Third, and also the most important reason, Miss Velvina can take this opportunity to make amends, so that your Majesty can forgive her father. Duke Richard. The 2 people who had objected earlier hurriedly glanced at each other. If Lord Craven says so, it really makes some sense. Yes. He looked at Craven with satisfaction. Then I'll leave this matter to you, Craven. He smiled meaningfully. You must ensure the safety of Miss Velvina, the only daughter of Duke Richard, on this trip. Craven turned pale, sweat falling like rain, and said in a trembling voice, Yes, Your Majesty. The meeting ended, and everyone left. In a dark room, a person knelt opposite the king. The king frowned and instructed, on the way back for Velvina and Castile, you know what to do, right? He bowed his head coldly. Your Majesty, rest assured. They will definitely die on the despicable territory of the Caradorial Empire. His eyes lit up as he said with an evil expression, the envoys of Alvis were killed by the Caradorial rabble. It seems we have another reason to use our troops. Sunlight shone on the bustling streets. Fresh fruit here, come and see. Fresh fish here, come and buy. The shop owner happily looked at the elegantly dressed man who was walking over. Oh, Lord Wren, did you come here to buy something? Wren Edgar smiled and raised his hand to greet him. I'm just taking a stroll through the city in my spare time, seeing if you need anything. The shop owner happily looked at his wife. Thanks to Lord Wren, our lives are much better. His wife smiled and said, That's right. Before, we lived worse than animals. Now we're finally like people. A voice rang out, This kid doesn't know how to talk. Say less. He smiled and greeted them. Haha, you guys are busy. Everyone happily greeted him. Goodbye, Lord Wren. He smiled and waved. Goodbye. A man with a bag of food passed by. Ivan Cobb, age 43, strength 28, magic power 12, leadership 20, strategy 18, loyalty 82. He glanced at 2 men who had just passed by. Marina White, age 27, strength 15, magic power 25, leadership 18, strategy 22, loyalty 80. Thomas Reed, age 38. Strength 33, magic power 20, leadership 28, strategy 25, loyalty 75. He sighed dejectedly. Sure enough, it's still too difficult to find talents with high attributes among the people. He remembered the crowd shouting wildly. I've been all over Easeline City these past few days. He passed through the bustling crowd. He smiled happily, waving to greet them. He touched his head, looking tired. But I still can't find a suitable talent. He crossed his arms, looking serious. No, my older brother and sister also have their own difficulties. I have to rely on myself. Moreover, second sister has already given Rosalyn to me. I can't be so willful anymore. Leah worriedly stroked his chest. Lord Wren. She let him lean on her chest. You've been tired these past 3 days. Rest for a while. She looked worried. I sent people to post all kinds of notices in the city, so that people who think they have talent will come to find you. He remembered their huge bodies dejectedly. Those who recommend themselves are indeed talents. They are all good labor forces in the factory, but... He cried silently in his heart. My factory can't operate at all. The elves' investment still hasn't moved. The dam will be completed in half a month. Thinking of that fanatical crowd, he was tired. Letting the magician study chemistry is indeed a sin. He panicked at their enthusiasm. The 3 major laws of thermodynamics are: Lord Wren is my god. Lord Wren, you are God. He huddled into her arms, groaning. This retarded system actually gave me an extremely difficult task. It's too difficult. A voice rang out, attracting his attention. You swindler! You dare come to the city? That is... He looked in surprise at 2 people who were arguing not far away from him. Armando Cresta smiled and said, Don't say that. Believe me, this time there will be absolutely no problem. He looked at the announcement in surprise. Armando Cresta, 32 years old, leadership 56, strength 33, loyalty 50, magic power 89, strategy 95, attributes, alchemist, proficient in medicine. He was happy, his whole body seemed to light up. I found a talent. Armando Cresta raised a bottle of green medicine and looked at the boss excitedly. This time, I guarantee it will work, he said as if bragging. Just use a small drop on your plants, and it can keep your fruit fresh all year round. The boss looked at him angrily. Don't talk nonsense, you swindler! He frowned, looking angry. Last time you swindled me into buying your pesticide, and it ruined a whole box of my apples. He turned pale, looking tense. God, that was an accident. My pesticide is not suitable for soft fruits like apples. The boss angrily pushed him out. Don't swindle people here. I won't be fooled. Hey, don't push. Listen to me. He looked at him in surprise. I didn't expect that there would be such a talented person in this kind of place. Leah looked at this scene with suspicion. Could it be that he has taken a fancy to this bragging alchemist? She frowned, her eyes revealing determination. I can't let him be deceived by this kind of person. Armando Cresta sat dejectedly on the ground. There's no fat prey today. I'm too hungry. Suddenly, a hand was held out in front of him. Ren Edgar smiled and looked at him. Hello, I'm very interested in your medicine. Can you introduce it? He looked up, his expression excited. I found a fat prey. He happily grabbed Ren Edgar's hand. God, this brother, I see that you are someone who knows how to look at goods. He held out the bottles of medicine of various colors. What kind of medicine does this brother want? I have everything here. Ren Edgar frowned, looking suspicious. Who are you? Why haven't I met you in this Isolene city? He was not worried about his serious expression, and said calmly, My name is Armando. I am an alchemist. I rarely come to the city. He looked at him indifferently. Did you come to the city today to sell your products? He happily replied yes. Just tell me what this brother needs, Armando. I guarantee I will make medicine that satisfies this brother. Leah whispered in his ear, My lord, don't believe this kind of person like an alchemist. Most of them are swindlers. The corner of his mouth raised slightly, revealing a cunning smile. Don't worry. Who is swindling whom is not yet known. Leah looked at Ren Edgar in surprise. Huh! He pointed to the colorful bottles hanging on his waist. How do you sell these medicines? He held a bottle of yellow medicine, looking excited. This brother really knows the goods. This bottle can make objects glow at night. He looked at the bottle of green medicine, his expression full of confidence. This bottle of medicine can make the person who drinks it run faster. He blushed and pointed to the small bottle of red medicine, speaking softly. And this bottle can make you and your maid happy all night. A row of ellipses appeared in Ren Edgar's mind, and he looked dejected. It's all garbage. Don't you have anything better? He shouted angrily, Brother, you can look down on me, but if you look down on my medicine, then I won't be polite. Leah's face darkened, her eyes flashed with killing intent. Not polite? He froze, looking a little scared. Brother, your maid's eyes are a little scary. He frowned and analyzed. Your bottle of medicine that makes objects glow at night is essentially beryllium zinc silicate fluorescent powder. This kind of powder has a low luminous efficiency and is toxic. I suggest you use halophosphate calcium fluorescent powder instead. That kind of powder has a high luminous efficiency, is non-toxic, and most importantly, it's cheaper than the former. His expression was horrified. How is that possible? How do you know the formula? He shouted angrily, this formula is my secret formula. Only I in this world know it. Ren Edgar looked at him calmly. Absolute secret? That's ridiculous. His tone was full of contempt. This is just basic chemistry knowledge. If your so-called alchemy is only at this level, then I don't think alchemy is anything special. He pointed at Ren Edgar's face, his eyes full of accusation. Basic knowledge? Are you kidding me? Where did you hear these things from? You must have secretly read my alchemy notes. He smiled and looked at him. That's ridiculous. What's the point of reading the notes of an alchemist who is so hungry that he can't sell medicine? Ren Edgar raised his hand and adjusted his tie, his posture high and mighty. Armando, I'll give you a chance. Swear allegiance to me, and I will let you understand the true path of alchemy. He frowned, looking suspicious. Swear allegiance? Who are you? Leah stood behind Ren Edgar and said loudly, the person standing in front of you is the new Lord of Easeline City, Lord Ren Edgar. He is also the second son of Grand Duke Eldrich of the Caradorial Empire. He looked at him and smiled. I thought it was a small fat sheep, but it turned out to be a big fish. He made a pretentious expression, opening his mouth wide and shouting, starting to act up. I, Armando, would rather starve to death than be a dog of the nobles. He frowned, looking at him. It seems that you are very dissatisfied with my identity. He closed his eyes and said calmly, this humble one dares not be dissatisfied with you, noble sir. After all, one cannot be angry with a dog. Leah frowned, her tone threatening. Immediately apologize to Lord Ren, otherwise. He smiled provocatively. Otherwise what? Kill me? The way nobles solve problems is really primitive. She gritted her teeth, the flames of anger burning fiercely. You want to die? He stopped her. Leah, stop. He frowned, looking at him. Armando, I don't know what grievances you have suffered from the noble class before, and I don't care. He raised a finger, his tone firm. I'll give you a chance to choose. He promised, I can provide you with complete and accurate knowledge of chemistry and physics. You will have the opportunity to change the world. Armando was surprised and silent for a long time. He pointed at him, his expression calm. Of course, if you want to waste your life in a mountain forest somewhere in Easeline City. He smiled contemptuously. I also don't care. He frowned, his voice firm. Daydreaming. He gritted his teeth, his expression angry. You nobles only care about your own pockets. I will never collude with you. The announcement appeared. Armando's loyalty to the host has decreased. 50 decreased to 32. He looked at it in surprise. Oh no! Not only did I not persuade him, but I also made him hostile to me. He pointed at Ren Edgar, his words as firm as cutting nails. I, Armando, will not believe a single word of the nobles. A voice rang out. He turned his head in surprise. Brother Armando! Irina ran over happily. Brother Armando! He hurriedly rushed to his sister's side. Irina, why are you here? Ren Edgar looked at the two siblings talking silently. This is not a place for you to come. Run away quickly. Why? He glanced at Ren Edgar, his voice containing hatred and a little worry. This man is an evil noble. He will harm Irina. The cheerful voice of the girl startled both of them. Ah, that's Brother Ren. He sat down and looked at the girl. Do you know him? A naive and innocent smile appeared on the girl's face. Yes, my mother said that we can have a good life thanks to Brother Ren. He smiled and squinted at the girl. Oh, did your father participate in building the dam? The girl obediently replied yes. Irina and my mother remind my father every day to try to work well for Brother Ren. Ren Edgar looked blankly as Armando turned pale and hurriedly pushed his sister away, shielding her in front of him, then pointed at Ren Edgar's face and scolded him. You dark-hearted noble! You're indeed exploiting the people of Easeline City. He tilted his head, looking a little angry. Huh! Why did you come to that conclusion? He pointed to the girl's clothes full of patches. She's wearing tattered clothes like this. It's clear that you're exploiting and oppressing her. The nature of nobles is indeed unchanged. Leah shouted angrily, absurd. Lord Wren is the most caring person for the people of Iselin City. Why do you dare to slander him like that? The girl stood in front of Wren Edgar, frowning and said, Brother Armando, what nonsense are you talking about? The girl looked at her brother angrily. Brother Wren is a good lord. He not only hires everyone to work, but also provides food and lodging so that we don't go hungry and cold. The girl shouted at Armando, causing him to be stunned. You don't understand anything. Don't talk nonsense. Wren Edgar put his hand on the girl's shoulder, appeasing her anger. Armando, the main reason why Irina and others don't have beautiful clothes to wear is because the light industry is not developed. He smiled and looked at him. When the light industry develops, all the people of Iselin City will be able to wear beautiful clothes. Armando still insisted on his own opinion. Although I don't know what the light industry you're talking about is, I'm sure that no noble thinks about the people. You corrupt nobles only think about filling your own pockets. Irina looked at her brother angrily. Brother Armando, how can you talk about Brother Wren like that? He turned around angrily and left. I have no interest in seeing nobles pretend to be good lords. Irina, you also have to be careful of him. Irina stamped her feet in anger. He watched the direction he left. No, I can't let this person go like this. He turned around to follow. Talent like this must not be lost. He frowned, huh? What's going on? He fell to the ground in everyone's worried calls. Lord Wren! Lord Wren! Wren Edgar lay motionless on the bed, Leah sitting worriedly beside him. Seeing him open his eyes, she said happily, Lord Wren, you're finally awake. He looked tired and comforted her. Leah, I'm fine, don't worry. She looked at him worriedly. How can you be fine? You're too reckless. You haven't been getting enough rest lately, and you still insisted on going to find talent yourself. Today you even fainted from exhaustion. He touched her hand, his voice gentle. Sorry I made you worry. I'll pay attention in the future. He slowly sat up and said, Oh, right, where's Armando? She wrung out the towel in the basin and gently recounted, After you fainted, I immediately brought you back to the mansion. She held the towel and gently wiped his face. That alchemist Armando. She happily recalled his reaction. He was going to leave at first, but he turned back when he saw you faint. He was startled and surprised. Oh, Armando came back? She helped him sit up and said gently, Yes, he mixed some medicine for you, saying that it could cure your illness, and then he left. He leaned his head on her shoulder suspiciously. Oh, was it his medicine that helped me reduce the fever? She smiled happily and looked at him. How is that possible? How could I let you drink the medicine mixed by someone with an unknown background? She looked at the bottles of medicine on the table. The medicine that Armando mixed, I left on your table. The person who cured you was the doctor in the city. Hearing this, he said, Let me go see the medicine he mixed. She hurriedly ran towards the bottles of medicine. Just wait here, I'll bring it. He narrowed his eyes, looking at the bottle of medicine in her hand, assessing it. Just looking at the color and properties, it seems quite professional. He opened the bottle cap and sniffed it, under Leah's surprised eyes. Tomorrow, find a doctor to ask how effective this medicine is. She bent down to look at him, her tone not very happy. My lord, do you really want to recruit him? He seems to be hostile to the nobles, and his attitude is extremely bad. He affirmed, of course. He not only has real talent, but he is also a rare genius. He frowned, looking thoughtful. The problem is that he has too deep a prejudice against the nobles. It would be good if I knew the reason. A waning moon evening in a wooden house in a gloomy forest. Armando walked to the desk. He reached out and picked up the photo frame on the table. He stared at the photo frame, stroking it. Inside the photo was the face of a girl with green hair, a kind expression, smiling at the boy.